Welcome to DAX Machina, with your hosts, Naomi Finn, Steve Wildman Munrotis, and D.A. Roberts. Join us as we explore writing, books, authors, and all things horror. We will delve into the sightings, reports, encounters, and tales of monsters. We will also explore the writings of D.A. Roberts along with others in the horror genre. We will investigate the possibilities that monsters may not be safely locked away in the pages of books. They might just walk among us even now. Grab some popcorn and lock the doors. It's going to be a creepy journey. Welcome to DAX Machina.
Hey folks, welcome to the Saturday edition of DAX Machina. Joining me tonight is my partner in crime, Steve Wildman Munrotis. And we are going to be discussing the Hollow Earth theory tonight. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Steve, how you doing, brother?
I'm living the dream one nightmare at a time. How about you, brother?
Oh, of course, catch me while I'm sipping coffee. I'm doing all right. Guys, keep carry Pocket Doc Davis in your thoughts, because he's sick still. He's been fighting this cold for almost 2 weeks, and it's kicking his tail. So we won't have Pocket Doc tonight. And Josh, if you're in the house, you are welcome to jump in at any time, brother. Everybody, say looks like we're getting a lot of hellos and howdies, guys. Thank you guys for joining us, and I think we're really gonna have a good time tonight. So, Steve, what do you think of when you think of the Hollow Earth theory?
Well, up until we talked earlier, I had in my head something like the Dyson sphere,
Mm-hmm.
where there was some kind of an energy source, in the center of the Earth, and some type of structure, around the shell of that something could live on, kind of an inverted world,
Yeah.
I think I've watched a little too much Godzilla versus Kong, but the more I read about it, the less I'm going with that.
Well, yeah. Well, the original concept of the Hollow Earth theory was first put forth in the late 1700s by a couple of scientists. Let me see if I can recall their names: Pierre Bouguer, something like that, and Charles Hutton. It was called the Schiehallion experiment. It was around 1774, and that's when they first put forth the theory that the Earth was hollow, and that there was another ecosystem within the Earth with like its own sun, its own gravity, which that has been pretty much just completely debunked. Which, I think was a little far fetched to think of. Maybe something out of pure science fiction, even though they originally have science fiction in that day. But then you flash forward to the early 1900s when Admiral Byrd was making his expeditions over the North and South Poles. He claimed to have seen entrances into the Hollow Earth, and that was documented by the Navy. In fact, over the Antarctic, Byrd claimed to have passed over an entrance to a cavern that had lush vegetation and an advanced civilization, and supposedly his expedition even exchanged fire with some of the aircraft from it. Again, that was documented by the Navy. It has not ever been officially, disputed by the Navy. The Navy basically just kind of let it get put on the shelf and don't really talk about it. But I know that section of that section of Antarctica is now considered a no-fly zone, and it's off limits. Even during during World War II, during the Nazi regime, Hitler sent expeditions to the Antarctic, and they claim to have made contact with that advanced race. So there is corroborating stories from different groups about the potential of this being a subterranean civilization. However, the Earth is almost 3,000 miles thick, and Admiral Byrd's planes were old prop-powered planes. So there's no way they could have flown, roughly 1,500 miles to the core of the Earth and then flown back out. They just didn't have that kind of range. So that leads me to think that if there is anything to Byrd's statements, that it's not nearly that deep.
Mhm.
And that ties us into modern sightings. Like when you start looking at some of the Bigfoot accounts, when they talk about Bigfoot possibly living in a vast network of underground caves, that without it being a hollow earth, that leads us to the possibility that it could just be a massive series of underground caverns.
Mhm. Well, in the 1680s, Edmund Halley, that Halley's Comet is named after, proposed this idea that there were concentric layers within the Earth, kind of like the Russian babushka dolls,
The
where
nesting dolls.
The nesting dolls. You got it. And so, basically there were layers of Earth, a la Dante's Inferno, that things could potentially live on, and maybe not sequential levels, but I mean, if there's one extra one, even that would give you a subterranean cavernous space that something could live. It does add an extra terror factor to that stuff, because if you think this could be a place where some of these cryptids or whatever are living, it definitely ups the potential population of these things.
Right.
And it's a creepy thought.
Well, we know from previous shows, and I'll pull the map up again. We know from previous shows that the missing 411 clusters seem to center around massive cave networks. And if you look at the Mammoth Cave Network that runs under Tennessee and under the Appalachians and maybe all the way up into New England, we don't know how deep that goes. The deepest any of our expeditions have been able to go is just a few days, because they're limited by how far their supplies will take them. They don't know if they can trust the air quality at lower depths. They don't know if they can trust the water, because there might be unknown issues with the water quality. So everything that they need to consume, they have to pack in, which extremely limits how far these underground expeditions can go. But having that as an established fact, I mean, we know that's the way it works with spelunking and speleology. There's only so far they can go on the supplies they have. Other creatures may not be limited by that. If Bigfoot and possibly Dogman are using these underground cave systems, we have no idea how deep those things go and how far or how big some of the caverns below are.
Well, and I mean, we already know that some of these deeper caves have their own ecosystems. If this is a sustainable environment, vegetation and, critters eat the vegetation, then these larger predators can eat themselves.
Exactly. And we know there are blind cave fish down there, species of bats. We don't know what other wildlife, what other types of animals, or even like edible molds, spores, fungus that grow at those depths that these creatures could be eating. The creatures that come up and we see on the see above ground could be hunting parties. Again, we don't know, but the prevailing theory seems to be these creatures do use underground caverns. And when we couple that with the hollow earth theory, I think that we cannot rule out the possibility of civilizations in deep caverns.
It definitely would be interesting to see what kind of stuff could be down there. And we're making the assumption that it would have to be dark too. I mean, we're already seeing bioluminescence in some of these caves. If you've got some kind of critter that produces its own light, there's no reason that these things have to be living in darkness.
Right.
And it certainly expands the food sources and everything else.
And, well, we know that you get deep enough, you start running into aquifers and huge underground lakes. That these lakes could be stocked with fish, or God knows what kind of creatures live at these depths, because we've never been down there. The deepest hole that was ever dug was dug by the Russians, and it was only big enough that they could basically lower a camera down. And at a certain point, it got so hot the camera melted. But some of the recordings they made, they referred to as sounding like they had opened the gates of hell, like they'd heard supposedly screaming and screeching sounds, which could be from extreme pressure. It could be they dug into something, far more horrific than that. Whatever religious view you want to take of them digging that deep into the ground, be that hell or any other underworld, much like the Greek version of the underworld or the Norse version of the underworld or the Celtic version of the underworld. It doesn't matter which approach you want to look at. There could be something down there that might correspond to those old tales, the old mythologies, because every mythology is based on something.
Mm-hmm. It's really interesting that Russian hole. It's a couple of miles, if I remember correctly, 1.5 miles, 2.5 miles, something like that. It's a 9-inch diameter hole.
Yeah.
It could be some pretty creepy stuff if it was a little bit wider.
No kidding. It'd be a great place to dispose of a body. They're not recovering that ever. Northwood Cryptid says Mammoth Cave is big. Only a small part of it is open for tours. And as far as exploration, they've only scratched the surface. I mean, Missouri, Missouri's famous for limestone caves. Missouri's riddled with caves. I mean, some of them are open for tours. Many of them have never been formally mapped. Even the Marvel Cave they have at Silver Dollar City, which is an attraction that they take people through, they've never fully explored it. They've only gone back to a certain extent and stopped because one, the air quality gets really bad. I know when I worked security at Silver Dollar City, we wouldn't allow anyone down there when the air handling equipment wasn't on, because they have to pump fresh air into the cave. If they don't, you go down in there, you can get overcome and die. Mainly because there's just tons of bat guano down there. That's how the cave first started for commercial use. Was they were mining bat guano out of it, which is useful in a lot of things. I mean, they used to use it in gunpowder. They used to use it in women's cosmetics. There's a lot of things that they use bat guano for. In fact, it's still pretty useful today, even as a fertilizer.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to look for some of the questions.
That's okay. You think about like the Merrimack Caverns too, in up near St. Louis. I forgot the name of the town that it's in. Jesse James' old hideout.
Stanton, Missouri.
Stanton, thank you. I kept thinking Sykes, and I knew that wasn't right. They're starting to see the fact that they haven't scratched the surface of that. They're estimating they've explored maybe 12% of the cave, and they're discovering new things all the time. The big flood, when it happened in 1993, opened up a new area that they've been wanting to get into, and who knows what they find.
Keith Van Rensselaer asked an interesting question. He says, do you think the rumors about the deep underground bases like Area 51 can tie in with Hollow Earth theories? Yeah, I think very well they could. I mean, to dig a massive underground base would be far, far more difficult than just digging into an underground cavern and then shoring that up. So, if there are military bases underground, my guess is they probably use ground penetrating radar to locate big caverns to tunnel to.
That makes sense.
Flyby Stu H says, wow, been looking forward to this. We're a sealed system, nothing new under the sun.
Wow.
Mammoth, Northwood Cryptid. Oh yeah, we already had that one. Mondoc 40 in research says, I wonder why spelunkers pack in extra supplies and create base camp caches. That's pretty much how they've explored as far as they've gone. But again, when you can't use vehicles or pack animals to carry in extra supplies, they're only limited by what they can pack in, even over multiple trips. But then they have to limit what they can go even farther. So that's why most expeditions underground have only lasted a few days.
Yeah. Well, the thing to consider too is, sometimes these things get very narrow. It's much more difficult to pack things in when you're shoving it ahead of you or dragging it behind you because it's only as wide as you are. That makes it more complicated.
And they can't risk trying to navigate underground rivers, because if it dips and goes beneath the surface of if it goes below rock where they can't get air, they may never surface, or at least never where we'll see them. Meg Mills says, years ago I saw a video on them having gone into the earth through earth, and those screams that you're talking about sounded like the gates of hell. Yeah, that was from that Russian hole they dug. which is really kind of terrifying. Werewolf 5674 says, "Oops, algae that live in heat vent in the ocean from volcanic activities." Yeah, we know about those, and we also know life can adapt. It always does. It finds a way. So it's very possible that even in a noxious environment far below the ground, there could be things down there we don't know about, or humanoid type creatures that are simply adapted to it.
Yeah, maybe that's the origin of the Greys.
Could be. William Bedard gave us a super chat, says, "Great topic, can lead into little people's domain." I agree. It can lead into all kinds of things. Thank you for the super chat, sir. Todd Hunter says, "Hi all, can't stay tonight. I'll have to listen tomorrow. Have a great night." Hey, Todd, thanks for joining us, man. Sal had a question. He says, "Speaking of underground Area 51, could they be using these cave systems to run the alleged underground railroad system that connects to the bases?" Yeah, I mean, absolutely. If they found a way to map some of these underground tunnels and were able to connect them with minimal digging, it would explain, some of these stories about underground railroad systems that connect major cities, vast underground bunker systems where political figures go. We know the president goes to one called Crystal Palace. We don't know how deep it is, and nobody knows exactly where it's at. And that's for safety and security reasons. But in the event of war breaking out and it getting nasty, the president has Crystal Palace that they can go to. When of course we've got NORAD that basically is under a hollow mountain. Then there's the rumors of a hollowed out mountain in Alaska where supposedly a black pyramid of alien origin was discovered. There's lots of stories about the military and underground bases, and I definitely want to be digging into that more. But tonight, I'm really wanting to focus more on these unexplored caves, because, hang on, let me make sure I've caught up with all the questions. Werewolf 5674 says you have to plan a rescue. Base camps help stage for rescues.
Oh.
Papa Bear says life definitely adapts. Look at all the life found in Antarctica. Very much so. Creepers, Cryptid, and Paranormal. So I think there's a base under Sydney's drinking water. Very well could be. I mean, I know a lot of places that are always considered tectonically stable have experienced weird seismic events, which could be from underground blasting. And I know a friend who was a trucker who delivered a load to Chicago, and it went into the salt mines beneath Chicago, which go more than a mile down. In fact, supposedly, from what he told me, is he pulled his truck in, and the entire thing was on an elevator that was lowered down into the ground, where he dropped his trailer, picked up another one, and left. These facilities are down there, and these are just the U.S. military and United States government facilities. With the natural caves, I mean, let me bring that map up again. Corresponding with the missing 411 cases, these are massive underground cave systems. And you can see right there smack in the middle where Missouri's at, we are littered with them. And of course, if it does actually connect to the Mammoth Cave system, the Mammoth Cave system runs all the way up into New England. This is unbelievable. And if these are deeper than we think, especially since since most of these major cave systems are near a fault line, if they use a fault line to go deeper, then these cave systems can connect far below what we're capable of detecting. Again, the Earth is almost 3,000 miles thick. There is no way we know enough about it to say with any degree of accuracy that we've mapped it. Roughly, Earth is roughly 25,000 miles around, but the diameter is just shy of 3,000 miles. That means just to get to the Earth's core, we would have to dig 1,500 miles. The deepest hole, I think that cave, that hole they dug in Russia was what, 3 or 4 miles deep?
If that, yeah, it was. Yeah. It wasn't very much at all.
Which means we have just scratched the mantle. And if these caves potentially go deeper than that, we have no way of knowing what's down there. I mean, there could be, like in the case of Admiral Byrd, when he was talked about encountering an advanced civilization in Antarctica. And again, that story was backed up by German scientists from World War II that there's supposedly an advanced race that lives down there. If those are true or to be believed, then we have no way of knowing for sure what could be down there. I mean, there could be. We're just like, I'm sorry. I keep getting overwhelmed with my thoughts. My mouth's not keeping up with my brain. But there could be things down there we don't even begin to understand yet.
So the Russian hole is 40,230 feet deep. So what about
5,200? Yeah, 5,280 feet in a mile. That's not quite 8 miles.
Yeah, 12.2 kilometers. The Kola Super Deep Borehole, it's called.
Yeah. John Doe says Denver Airport has a well-documented and large underground section. Yeah, I've heard a lot about that. Of course, they deny it. Creepers Cryptid and Paranormal Corner says there's at least 25 FBI, CIA agents based around the drinking water. We are in Australia, and they're there. Why would they have CIA and FBI be there? That is weird. That is really weird. John Doe says underground military bases aren't really at all a conspiracy. They're well known and pretty common for rather obvious reasons relating to things underground cannot be bombed easily. Yeah, lots of bunkers. What do they call it? Continuation of government or contingency, something.
Yeah, continuation of government.
Yeah. A lot of these deep bunkers for the government to survive. Rosa Jennings says there's a tunnel between Wright-Patterson Air Force Base and Area 51. Doesn't surprise me. John Doe says the tunnels under various Air Force bases are also a matter of public knowledge and are very prevalent in a variety of mundane reasons. Of course, less mundane reasons. Yeah, moving vehicles and aircraft without being seen, that kind of thing. Creepers Cryptid Paranormal Corner says there's 50K fines and jail time if you go to this lake, but every other drinking water lake in Australia is open to water ski or fishing, and agents based around it come on. We come around. Come on, we're not that silly. I totally agree. I mean, it's when you make something that off limits, like that particular lake or say Groom Lake facility, when speculation runs wild. John Doe says, like literally we're just being able to make a transport of new experimental stuff without being detected by spy satellites alone is a pretty big incentive to have an underground complex. I totally agree. Lenny says we need to go on an expedition. That would be awesome. ED says Pine Gap, Australia is a U.S. base. That doesn't surprise me. I mean, there's a lot of strategic value to having U.S. military bases that close to certain Asian countries that are kind of hostile toward us. Creepers Cryptid and Paranormal Corner says we have seen orange lights come out of the water there and shoot up until it was out of sight and the stars plenty of times. Yeah, same thing around Alaska. They've talked about entire like squadrons of UFOs coming up out of the water, then shooting straight up into the sky. Now that could either be UFOs or experimental aircrafts, but when you couple that with the possibility of underground bases in Alaska, it very well could be U.S. aircraft. Werewolf says it's called continuity of government. AJ Congdon says the extreme pressures and low air quality could explain the need for the muscle and lung capacity associated with Bigfoot, like the kids that come to Earth in Galactica 1980 and can jump super high. Yeah. And then ED says an ex-military worker mentioned to me that the Greys had been there for decades. That doesn't surprise me. And, we know that there are caverns that exist underwater that, like the one they found off of Malibu, California, that looks like submarines could go in and out of it. I mean, it's massive. We talked about that on one of the shows, and we need to do another show about underwater bases again. But these caves, some of these caves, again, go for miles and far deeper than we've ever been. A small, like fraction of a percent of the Mammoth Cave system has been explored and mapped. It goes on for hundreds of miles that we have never even touched, and they could possibly connect to the cave systems in Missouri. which would it basically be allow something to travel from the Midwest to New England without ever surfacing. And considering how many could be hiding down there, it's kind of terrifying.
Even if it's just us that's down there, it's kind of terrifying.
Exactly.
Then you have to ask yourself, why are we down there?
Yeah. John Doe says, and of course, many underground facilities, especially the larger labyrinth ones, are a result of the Cold War. You can couple those with the old Pompous caches, positioned outside military control, U.S. Those were deep caves that they left supplies in for military units to resupply. Those were scattered across Europe and the United States. That was something they started during World War II, although I don't know what they called them in World War II. They just had supply bases buried all over continental United States in case we were invaded, so military units could resupply. But I know for a fact they're all over Europe and the U.S. Creeper Scripted Paranormal Corner says, in World War II, there were two dead Japanese soldiers found in the area of this lake. It's 60 kilometers from the ocean. Did they travel that far to get to this lake on foot? Interesting question. John Doe says, and of course, even without the human activity. John Doe says, if you look into the old myths and fairy tales and ask where all the giants and ogres and little folk live, they live underground. Correct.
Yep. The hobbit hole.
Exactly. Sal Paso says, the theory of hollow earth is not new. I watched a movie from the 50s about explorers finding blind cave fish, sustained ecosystems, and etc. Yeah, there are lots of movies that have been done about the possible hollow earth. Well, most of them were generally pretty hokey, but legitimate research has been done on this. We're talking about ecosystems that exist, like you said, blind cave fish, molds and spores and lichens. Some of them are bioluminescent. We don't fully know what's down there. We've got our eyes peeled to the skies looking for extraterrestrial life, but there very could be intelligent terrestrial life that we're not even aware of.
Oh, it's an interesting thought.
And I don't know if that thought should scare us or not, but it certainly should intrigue us. The deeper we get, the less we know. I mean, the same thing with the oceans. We've explored less than 10% of the oceans. We don't know what's at extreme depths. Like some of the cameras they put at the bottom of the Marianas Trench, they recorded a shark that they estimated to be like 70 feet long. To me, that sounds like Megalodon. We don't know what's at those depths. We don't know what's beneath us. I need to go back up one. John Doe says, hollow earth is the sense that most of the earth itself is hollow, is pretty outlandish and doesn't fit most of human knowledge. But hollow earth as a concept of massive underground areas isn't. I agree completely. I think we can pretty well safely say that the story of the earth being hollow like an egg with another ecosystem and sun and gravity and everything inside, I think that's been firmly debunked. But the possibility of life existing at various depths in all of these massive underground cave systems is completely viable. And if there's even a good chance, then we have to accept it as a fact until it's proven wrong. We know there's a good chance that we already know there's life down there that we never recorded before. Blind cave fish, for example, different species of bats, rodents that live at depth. So weird kind of creatures. We know those are down there. So knowing those are down there is just the tip of the iceberg. That means the farther we go, the more we're going to find. John Doe says, hollow earth in the same sense of Titanic underground caverns, many of which are unexplored, is a fact. I'm 100% on board with that. Creeper Scripted Paranormal Corner says, DA, I'll have to send you the maps I put together of the missing persons in Victorian High Country. At least 10 people. Earthquakes and Yowie sightings in the same spot. I think they blew up caves. That happens here in the States, too. There have been lots of cave entrances like we were talking about just the other night in Kentucky that were dynamited. Kentucky and Tennessee. I know there's caves in Missouri that have been sealed off and people kicked off their lands. I think that not only are these missing 411 cases surrounding these cave systems, that not only are they what's the word I'm looking for? Not only are they a positive link that something's in these caves, I think we need to take that as an established fact at this point, simply because there are so many stories of people that have gone missing in these areas. It cannot be ruled out. And when these people disappear without a trace and are never found, if they took them into these deep cave systems, we'd never find them. Not until we start exploring these cave systems and we know they exist under mountain ranges.
I think you're right. Yes.
Of course, Northwoods. The only way these caves would be scary is if my ex was in them.
Oh, Lord.
Werewolf 5674 says Ireland's gateway to hell, a real tunnel. Yes, very much so. Rosa Jennings says Indian Echo Caverns glows in the dark. Yeah, bioluminescence is a very real thing. ED says the Garthans are reputed to live underground. I need to look into that. Ellen Harrington says, John Doe, thank you for clarifying. I cannot get on board with a hollow Earth actually hollow. Yeah, I think like I said, I think that theory has been safely debunked. Thinking that the Earth is again like an egg with a civilization inside of it has been pretty much debunked. I don't think the Earth is a natural Dyson sphere. However, like we've already been saying, that the potential of vast amounts of life living at depth in some of these cave systems, I think we can safely say is an established fact. We know those caves are down there. John Doe says hollow Earth doesn't mean that there's a big hole in the center of the Earth. I agree. John Doe says it just means that the layer of crust and rock above the magma layer, there are large caves, etc. Again, we know, John says, which is a scientific fact. We know that to be absolute truth. John Doe says there are massive underground networks carved out by rivers and glaciers. Very true. John Doe again says most of which are unexplored. Yeah, we know very little about the depth of these caves. James Estrada says the Earth is flat and fixed with upturned edges to hold the waters in. Okay, well, I'll let that one go. But this is we're just scratching the surface of this. I mean, we know that the tectonic plates rest on molten lava. That these tectonic plates, when they bump up against each other or rub against each other, is what creates earthquakes. But if the core of the Earth is molten, there's still a crust on that's thousands of miles thick. Well, maybe not thousands. The Earth is only 3,000 miles wide, but you know what I mean. Hundreds of miles thick, and all throughout that crust, there could be a myriad of caves existing everywhere. Mm-hmm. And of course, there's also the what people talk about there being an ocean beneath the ocean, underneath another layer. And we know that water exists at depths that we've never suspected before. Water exists beneath the Ogallala Aquifer, and that is a massive underground lake that's under most of the western states. It's a massive aquifer. So we know these caves exist, and we know they're massive. James Estrada says there are classified CIA documents that back up the flat Earth claim. All right, we're not going to get into that. I'm just not going to touch that.
It's a slippery slope, unfortunately.
Yeah. I don't have enough tin foil and crayons to explain why that's wrong. Ivy Ray says, research when you can the Goddard Base Tunnel in Switzerland, deep in the earth, and weird satanic ceremonies were held for its opening. Dignitaries from everywhere attended, and videos of it on YouTube. We know these caves. We know these caves are all over the world. Every major mountain range has a network of caves in it. Even in some places where there are no mountains. You look at again. I'll pull that map up. I keep going back to that map. But if you look at those networks of caves, those are all centered around mountain ranges. I mean, right here, the ones in Missouri, that's under the Ozarks, the Ozark Mountains. And we know the Ozarks are one of the oldest mountain ranges on the planet. They're just not as tall as, say, the Appalachians or the Rockies because they're far older. They've been beaten down by time. In the Appalachians, when we started looking into the geology of that, we discovered that the Appalachians were actually part of the same mountain ranges that run through Ireland and Scotland. Before continental drift, that was one mountain range. So, adjusting for continental drift, those mountains could have connected by caves at one time. Now, granted, they probably don't now unless the caves go under the oceans. But, we know that mountain range is part of the same mountain range that extends under part of Europe. So whatever was down there could easily, could easily been under parts of Europe as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my throat's getting a little raspy. Sorry, folks. Let's see. Werewolf 5674 says the deepest diamond mines are so hot that the work 20 minutes at a time. Yeah, the deeper it gets into the earth, the hotter it's going to be.
Yeah,
John Doe says you get low enough, you start
with that.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, Doug. There's, they were kind of noticing that with the camera in that big Russian borehole. That the heat was melting, stuff, and it was, only, what we say, 7-8 miles. It's scary stuff.
Mondoc 40 in research says there's a river in Wyoming named Popo Agie that disappears underground and then reappears on the surface. I've always wanted to see the caverns it goes through. Yeah. Well, there in Bennett Springs, Missouri, it's a state park. There is a massive massive spring. And I read about this when I was a kid. They dropped dye packs into it with certain radioactive markers so they could track where the spring came up. And it was like 2 years later, they detected the dye packs coming out of the ground in Alaska. So where did that water go between the two? Those are massively different places. John Doe says most caverns are carved by rivers or other bodies of water. And give a few million years, the Grand Canyon will probably become partially a cave. That doesn't surprise me. But if you think of the reports of the missing 401 cases being near those major cave systems, it's not a big leap of the imagination to think that cryptids or even unknown hominids are using these cave systems, and it's kind of terrifying when you think. I mean, I spent a lot of my teenage years and early 20s going and cave crawling in a lot of these caves around Missouri. That was a lot of fun. I mean, me and my buddies of mine did that for years. We had a blast going back into some of these caves that hardly anybody had been in, and it's really neat. Saw a lot of really cool cave formations, and saw some interesting bats. And there were some of them where there were underground pools where you could see minnows and stuff in the water, and crayfish, where the crayfish were like almost translucent. They were so pale, and the fish obviously were about the same. They were almost ghost white. And this wasn't even that far back in. These are just underground pools that had never seen the light of day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some salamanders. You find the blind salamanders. They didn't have eyes on them at all.
Yeah. Well, Missouri is pretty well known for salamanders and stuff like that. The Ozarks hellbender is a species of salamander that lives in the lakes and rivers of Missouri. And it can get to like 3 feet long. I mean, it can get to be pretty massive, and they're an endangered species here. Mm-hmm. Werewolf 5674 says, "Hey, monsters have to eat too." Monsters got to eat.
I love it. Yeah, it would be interesting to see what's under some of these. You were talking about how they basically had disproven the whole egg theory. I mean, with all the seismic studies they've done and the gravitational studies, yeah, clearly we don't have that Dyson sphere thing going on. but it does make for good fiction. I mentioned Godzilla versus Kong earlier, and how gravity would behave in an environment like that. You at some point gravity inverts and you're sticking to the skin of things, and it'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah, I saw that, and those gravitational points. I don't know how that would work. I mean, it made for a cool bit in the movie, but I mean, I don't know if the physics behind that would back it up.
Yeah, I don't know.
John Doe says, actually, if you have heard of the rake or crawlers, such an animal heavily resembles what a primate, which was suited to cave life, would look like. And you're absolutely right about that. That could also, explain some of the descriptions of the Wendigo being gaunt and pale. That's kind of terrifying to think about it.
Yeah, the videos that people have posted of the rakes, of course, a lot of them have been, proven as just, creepypasta, but that's some spooky stuff.
Yeah. John Doe says pale skin, spindly long arms, regressed eyes, lack of hair. Yeah, makes sense, or would certainly make for a great story. Lene McKee Perkins says the well on our farm here in southern Illinois always gets really cloudy whenever there are fairly good earthquakes in Alaska. That makes sense. I mean, again, we don't know how far these underwater rivers and lakes go. We don't know anything really about that kind of depth. Northwood says if rats and sewers can get huge, then other animals and caves probably do too. Wouldn't surprise me. Ivy Ray says rakes look like they tried to mate a human with an alien. Yeah, they do kind of. They're pretty creepy looking. All spindly arms.
Oh.
John Doe says would even explain potentially why it's a seemingly recent phenomenon. That's kind of really terrifying when you think about it. John Doe is one of those guys that's got a lot of good information. I'd like to buy that man a couple of beers and pick his brain, but I don't think he's going to tell us who he really is. We've kind of hinted at trying to get him to come on the show before, and I don't think he wants to. They have only recently had their caves become accessible to the surface. That makes a lot of sense. Whether it be by act of man or nature. That could have been due to earthquakes or underground blasting for some of these caverns, which makes you think, what was that?
That was my dog. Cora.
I was like, holy crap, what was that? It makes you wonder.
She heard something and she went nuts.
It makes you wonder, though, if the military does have these deep bases. Have they encountered and fought these things?
I would suspect that these things do actually exist. It's almost a guarantee. I mean, look at what's happened every time the military has tried to ingress into an area that there was either indigenous population or a group of animals or whatever. There's always some kind of conflict that arises from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it could be something as simple as the local wildlife not wanting people in the area, or it could be something intelligent pushing back. But if we're looking at the possibility that some of these unknown animals could be using these cave systems or possibly coming from these cave systems, then I would love to find out if the military bases that have gone into these deep bases have encountered anything like that. If not only have they had violent encounters, but perhaps predation might be something the military has to actively worry about. Having people vanish below ground. Of course, they would never tell us. That would be so classified we would never know about it.
Well, it would be like the whole thought of have we had alien encounters? They would keep it a secret just so they don't freak out the general public. How would the general public feel if there's a whole civilization of little creepy darlings living under the surface of the Earth.
No
Probably
kidding.
wouldn't handle it real well.
Probably not. Lene McKee Perkins says, I wonder if the practice of fracking could be driving some of these creatures above ground. That's a very good question. We know that fracking has caused earthquakes in areas that were normally tectonically sound. Causes all kinds of weird stuff to happen. Like on some of the native reservations, fracking has caused methane deposits to build up in the water to the point where they're getting methane coming out of their tap water. I've heard examples of them being able to turn on the tap water and light a lighter and ignite the water coming out of their tap. And that's just one of the negative side effects of fracking. God knows what else it's caused. Margaret Mills says, DA, if you listen to those podcasts I have sent you an email. Got to find some answers in that. Very interesting. Yeah, I'm going to be digging into those later tonight. I didn't have time to listen to many of them before the show. That was Nightbot. Sorry about that. I meant to click on this one, and it shifted up one. Keith Van Rensselaer says, at one point there used to be a video on YouTube that had a gentleman named Phil Schneider who was involved with military battling aliens during the constructions of one of the
it's supposed to be dams.
One of the dams. Okay, that makes more sense. Out west, doesn't again. Stranger crap has happened. John Doe says, I must say that due to my atrocious Wi-Fi, a show with me would probably be more of a slideshow. Well, if you think you could do it on a phone, you can link you can follow the Restream link and do it on a cell phone. I mean, I've had a number of people that come on as guests that did it strictly through their phone or tablet. John Doe says, if it connects at all. Yeah, I understand. We recently had to change our internet service provider because the connection was spotty at best. Zune says, rip Phil Schneider. He went out in a very horrible way. I'm gonna have to look into this guy. I don't know that much about him. Cryptids, Creepers, and Paranormal Corner says the earthquakes in Victorian High Country shouldn't have happened. Australia sits on a tectonic plate, not a fault line. We don't have earthquakes. And then makes you think something more is going on there.
Mm-hmm.
John Doe says, if I appear disjointed, it's because I am at any one time potentially anywhere from 10 seconds to 10 minutes behind the live. No worries, man. No worries at all. Cryptids, Creeper, and Paranormal Corner says, John Doe, I went on last weekend from Sydney, Australia through my tablet. Sal Paso says, Phil Schneider was at the Dulce base. I've got to look this guy up and learn more about him. We may end up having to do a show on the guy because it sounds pretty freaking interesting. Northwoods Cryptid says, all kinds of strange creatures have come from under Cheyenne Mountain, and that's because they came through the Stargate. Yes, I've been watching Stargate. Yeah, okay, Richard Dean Anderson let him through.
There you go.
Dang you, Richard Dean Anderson.
Curse you.
Come on, MacGyver that crap.
Did you see the picture of him that somebody posted? He was, I guess his car was broke down, and somebody drove by and took a picture of him very flustered with his broken down car, and they're like, what the hell, MacGyver, can't you fix
it? Well, obviously not. He didn't have a pocket knife and some duct tape.
Well, he definitely did not seem amused at all.
Well, John Doe, if you are interested, shoot me an email at daroberts@daroberts.net. We can bounce some ideas back and forth and see what we can do about possibly getting you on the show, because you do have a lot of good information. I'd like to have a chance to talk to you about it. Again, that's daroberts@daroberts.net. Are you going to do a show? Who with DA Phil? No. I want to do a show possibly about him. I've got to dig into a lot more information on that. I don't know. It's not like I could invite him on the show, especially if he's already passed away. But I would like to do some research and possibly, do a show about him. Estreston says, Admiral Byrd was telling the truth. In my opinion, aliens are not alien at all and have been just as long as we have been. It's possible that, extraterrestrials could very well be, some of the extraterrestrials could very well be terrestrial in origin. But I think we would be highly arrogant to believe we're the only intelligent life in the universe. Although, again, I've made the joke a few times, but I'll throw the joke out there again that if there is intelligent life in the universe capable of crossing interstellar distances, they probably lock their doors when they go past Earth because we're kind of the Arkansas of the universe.
So I was just madly digging through the internet here, trying to find out more about Phil Schneider. There was a story a while back about a battle that the U.S. military had with some reptilian aliens at some base in New Mexico. Phil Schneider was part of that.
Oh, okay.
That was the Dulce base they're referring to. Interesting stuff.
Okay, Creeper's Cryptid Paranormal says, do you think these underground caves could explain how the dogmen I got pics of here ended up being in Sydney without any indigenous stories or recollection of them being here? Could very well be. I mean, it could have been a case of, like you were saying, those earthquakes in the area could have just recently made openings where they got through, or they could have been there all along and nobody, had come into contact with them. I mean, if they're out there, they've got to be pretty cagey and know to avoid people. John Doe says directed energy weapons were mentioned. Do you remember the reported symptoms effects? Not off the top of my head, but I do know there's a lot of talk and controversy about directed energy weapons. Esther Isden says, why can we not replicate the technology to return to the moon? Well, if some of the stories are being believed, one version of the story I heard is the astronauts that landed on the moon were told not to come back, that they encountered something up there that basically said, stay the hell on your own planet, which makes a lot of sense. Creeper Scripted Paranormal Corner says, or is it that one side of the river is army barracks and there are guard dogs? Possibly. Northwood Cryptid says, I cringe to think of what kind of mutated creatures are in any caves under the Nevada test site. Yeah, that's a very real possibility, or under New Mexico down in White Sands. What were you going to say, Steve? I'm sorry.
Oh, it's gone now, whatever it was.
Sorry, man.
No, it's all right. My brain did a flyby. It's okay. It's nothing you did. It's just me.
John Doe says directed energy weapons have been a thing for around 50 years or so, but only recently entered a state where they are practical on the battlefield.
Oh, I remember where my brain was going. We were talking about, we can't replicate the technology, go back to the moon. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's a matter of being able to replicate it. The Chinese just recently sent a probe up there. I think it's a fact there just isn't the financial incentive at this point. We poured, millions and billions of dollars into it because we wanted to beat the Russians. Once that was done, everyone's like, meh, okay, we won. It just, the initiative wasn't there anymore.
Zune says, so do the moons on other planets in our solar system, do they rotate in their orbit? They would have to. You would think anyway, unless they're geosynced.
Yeah, they're tidally locked.
Boris Rhodes says, PS claim they use those directed energy weapons to drill miles in minutes. That doesn't surprise me. John Doe says each moon has its own orbit around its parent body. John Doe says it should be expected for directed energy weapons to enter widespread service in the next 10 to 20 years. Doesn't surprise me. Creeper's Cryptid Paranormal Corner says the whole moon landing cracks me up. They did that with 4 gigabytes of RAM. My daughter's little PC has 16 gigabytes. Yeah, you've got more computing power on your average cell phone than they use to get to the moon.
Yeah. Well, there's more computing power in a cell phone than the space shuttle had on it.
Yeah, no kidding. John Doe says, I believe it was 2010 when the USS Ponce was fitted with a laws and did a tour of service in the Middle East. Yeah, I think I remember reading something about that. Irene says now they're racing to Mars. Yeah. John Doe says, I would, however, be skeptical of any claims of tunneling through large amounts of rock or similar with a directed energy weapon. Yeah, if they did that, they could activate tectonic plates. They could cause massive earthquakes. I wouldn't think that would be feasible. However, probably for removing certain obstructions, but probably not wide tunneling. John Doe says, as they aren't suited for such tasks and are more suited for taking soft targets. I agree. Whew. This is a lively conversation tonight. We've I think, again, no pun intended on the for the Earth, but we've only scratched the surface, so to speak. Did you just see like something fly by my head?
I thought I did, but
it was. I didn't see it. I only saw it on the camera when I looked up. I didn't see anything buzz by my head. It was like a little orb. But I don't really I never really put much stock in orbs. But that I saw it on the camera, but I didn't see anything in the light around me. It could have been dust. I don't know what the hell it was.
It could have been almost anything.
Yeah.
I've learned not to trust electronics at this point.
It's very true. John Doe says, however, I do believe that that a Kasaba howitzer could easily be mistaken for a directed energy weapon. Creepers Cryptid and Paranormal Corner says, I think they just stabilize existing natural caves and tunnels. Yeah, I would agree with that. And that would very much so bore a hole through almost anything instantaneously. Werewolf 5674 says, a thing like lasers take a lot of power and cooling. Very true. And John Doe says, soft targets refer to things like personnel or armored vehicles. Very true. John Doe says, rule of thumb is that if it cares about being hit by rifles, it's soft. John Doe says lasers are extremely well suited for taking out soft targets, but struggle harder ones due to how they function. Speeds Auto says, I backed up the video and saw it looked like an orb. Yeah, I just saw it on the camera, and it was just it was just I just saw it on the camera. I didn't see it around me. I mean, maybe it was an orb.
That would be about our luck.
And then John, Ellen Harrington says, nice, thanks. John Doe says, which is why most of the intended use for them is against drones. Yeah, or missile systems. Mm-hmm. Either one would work. Have you ever seen videos of the phalanx system being used?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty impressive.
Oh yeah.
Amazing what they can do. But we're digressing. We're talking about energy weapon systems and stuff like that. And we're kind of getting away from the point, which was the possibility of these vast underground cave systems having either intelligent or quasi-intelligent life. Well, we know they have life. I mean, that's already a proven fact. We know cave fish, crayfish, all kinds of weird varieties of bats. We just don't know how deep they go. Not with any real certainty. And if it's possible that cryptids are using these tunnels or these caves like either for their own civilization or for vast underground highways, that certainly would fit right into the missing 411 stuff. And to me, that may be the most terrifying aspect of the missing 411 stuff is that if these people are vanishing and being taken below ground, then we're never going to find them. And if it's something the government has encountered at depth, especially with these deep military bases, then I'm even more upset that the government has never come forward about the dangers, because they know. The government knows for sure. This is something the government could answer easily, but they're not going to, probably because it's classified and would reveal way too much of their hand when it comes to other governments or possible enemies. But I do believe they know. Rosa Jennings says, check out the U.S. Air Force HARP program. Yeah, they were attempting to control the weather, which caused all kinds of backlash. But HARP is still in effect. They say they turned it over to civilian researchers, but I guarantee you it's still in the hands of the military.
Well, civilian contractors aren't necessarily any safer. I mean, look at Blackwater and some of these other these other groups. They're civilian. I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah. Creepers Cryptid and Paranormal Corner says, look up the tunnel that goes from Uluru and comes out 30 kilometers away in a national park. The Aboriginal story was that they use it to escape, but never said from what. It'd be interesting to know what they had to escape from. But again, that's just another fine example of these systems being able to go miles and miles underground and either emerge somewhere else entirely or not even come up.
Well, this is definitely not a slam on our friend John there in Australia, over at Creepers, but it makes you wonder what, knowing what exists in Australia as part of their normal fauna, the Aborigines would obviously, be used to living with that. What could potentially scare them that much that they would feel the need to escape?
No kidding.
How much scarier than regular Australian wildlife are we talking here?
Are they getting away from the brown snake, the common brown? Creepers Cryptid and Paranormal Corner, he says, the HARP machine is in Western Australia and can be seen on Google Earth. There's another one in Alaska. Makes you wonder how many of them that are there around that we don't know about. John Doe says, I could actually post screenshots from the documents I'm referring to regarding directed energy weapons and similar on the Discord. I'm currently 6 minutes behind the live feed. I didn't expect a quick response. Yeah, if you want to post those in the Discord, I'd love to check those out. Northwood Scripted says, I would hate to be in a cave and gave the batteries gave out, lights out. Yeah. That's why when we used to go cave crawling, we always took at minimum 3 sources of light, because you do not want to be underground when your batteries die, because we talk about a dark so intense you literally can't see your hand right there. There is zero ambient light, none. And you get lost down there without a light source, you're done. I mean, unless you know the general direction of the exit and you can feel your way along a wall, you're not going to find your way out.
Mm-mm.
Esther Eston says, perhaps they won't come forward because they have no control over the races that reside within and never have. Could possibly be. I mean, they could be, in a state of war with whatever's down there. And if Admiral Byrd is correct, that may be a war we couldn't win if they're as advanced as he said they were. Rosa Jennings says, we still own and run HARP. It's not really for controlling the weather. God knows what it's actually for. I mean, there's versions of stories that have been released, and then, the most of it's still so heavily classified, we'll probably never actually know.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't it originally supposed to be some kind of a communications array? They were studying very low frequency radio or something like that, using the ionosphere to communicate with ships at depth.
Something along those lines, and something about weather research, and there were supposedly several versions of what they were doing, but I don't know if we'll ever know for sure. John Doe says, my favorite was probably the now sadly abandoned space gun designed to quite literally shoot satellites into orbit. You would think the force of the projectile going off would destroy it. Creeper Scripted and Paranormal Corner says, we haven't had sunlight since Christmas, just rain the whole time. The spicy cough would have gone if we had our normal 40 degree Celsius days. Harp keeping it going on. John Doe says, this one being at high altitude, this one being the high altitude research program, I believe.
Yeah,
Sal
high
has a
altitude.
question.
Yeah, I think it's High Altitude Atmospheric Research Program. It's HAARP, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Sal Paso says, question, didn't Admiral Byrd claim that there was a tunnel that ran between the poles? Yeah, I think he did, but there's no way he could have known that. The aircraft they used at the time were prop-powered planes with a range of only a few hundred miles. And that would have to be absolute guesswork. There's no way, even if he found the entrance to one of these and flew into it, they wouldn't have the range to fly the diameter of the Earth, let alone come out the other side. There is no way the aircraft they had at the time could have gone far enough to prove that. I think that was just pure supposition.
I don't think we have aircraft now. The diameter of the Earth is just below 8,000 miles.
3,000. It's like, I think it's like 27 or 2,800.
Okay. Well, still, that, unless you're talking refueling, that's a hell of a range for our aircraft.
Exactly. Mrs. Chef Yoda asks, have I ever read the book, The Smoky God? It's supposed to be a true story. The book is online for free. I have not. If you happen to have a link to that, if you could send that to me, I would definitely read that. You can email it to me at daroberts@daroberts.net or post the link in the Discord. Alan Harrington says it's HARP an acronym. Yeah, what did you say? It was HAARP. What did you say it stand for?
Oh, High Altitude Atmospheric Research Program. The one I was thinking of was they were trying to use it to. They figured if they could energize the ionosphere, they could transmit radio signals from place to place without having line of sight. They wouldn't need satellites.
Wouldn't need a satellite to bump it.
Right. And I forgot what kind of a signal they were using. I kept thinking it was like very low radio frequency or something like that. But I don't know. I mean, if you listen to the conspiracy theories, that there's a whole lot more associated with it.
Yeah. Rosa Jennings says the Air Force and SETI are working together with HARP. That wouldn't surprise me. Creepers Cryptid and Paranormal Corner says, I thought HARP was the machine shooting radio signals to space looking for life. No, I think you're thinking of SETI, the Search for Extraterrestrial Life. Those are massive radio telescopes that are constantly sweeping the night sky and looking for any kind of intelligent signal coming back toward Earth. There used to be a program that SETI would allow people to access their telescopes and their listening posts and could install the software on their computer and listen for themselves. But it just out of the blue, they canceled that program. And I think it was because they were starting to get, signals, because the people that actually did the SETI at home program, there would be times when they would just black out for no reason. They'd stop getting signals, and then it would come back as if nothing ever happened. Kind of like the same thing with the International Space Station. You could log in and watch the external view cameras of the International Space Station, and then at weird times they'll just go offline, and then like an hour later they'll come back up as if nothing ever happened. Like you're getting blacked out feeds, like there's something they don't want you to see. They probably had the feeds on a delay anyway. So they could screen what you were able to see first, and it could be something as innocuous as a satellite they didn't want you to see, or it could be something else entirely. Mr. Chef Yoda says the Smoky God is about a race of people that live in the Hollow Earth. Yeah, I would love to read that. That sounds really good. Mm-hmm. Papa Bear says, I think the SR-71s had the range. They may very well have. I know they could. I don't know. I don't know if they could completely circumnavigate the Earth, but I know they could go pretty damn far. Irene says she has to go. Well, Irene, thank you for being here. Hope you have a good night. Mm-hmm. Northwoods Cryptid says refueling is the only way our military planes can make it all the way around the Earth. Yeah, and if there was, as Byrd postulated, a tunnel that connected the poles, there is no way the aircraft of the day could have ever proven that. That would have to have been complete supposition on his part.
Mm-hmm.
Creepers Cryptid says, like the Starlink cameras dropping out. Yep. Mondoc 40 in Research says the U.S. Air Force used very low frequency by trailing an antenna behind an EC-135 up to 1.5 miles. It had full roll on board. Yeah, the extreme low frequency, the ELF system, they use it to signal submarines that are still at depth. Blue Cruise says, I just noticed in Steve Wildman's video background that he has some German beer stein mugs on the top shelf.
Oh,
My
yeah.
father collects them.
Oh yeah, yeah. I those are kind of funny. My mother picked them up at a like a thrift store, and he's like, "Oh, I got you these German beer mugs." And my dad is fluent in German. He was reading and goes, "This isn't like grammatical German." And then you look and they're made in Japan, and so they're German words, but it's not. It's not real legible.
It's German gibberish.
German gibberish, basically. Yeah, it's like illiterate German, and I'm like, oh well, they're still cute. I'll keep them.
They're worth drinking beer out of. John Doe says certain aircraft can technically do round world flights on a single tank. Oh, Mondoc answered him. Nope, they need a KC-135Q to refuel multiple times. Papa Bear says they don't want you to see the Black Knight satellite. Yeah, I've read about that. It's a satellite that is, well, it's thousands of years old, but it's still orbiting Earth.
Interesting.
Rondo says this precludes a useful payload, and these are typically some of the largest and most advanced aircraft. I don't believe the SR-71 is one of them. Northwood says SETI probably started getting messages from the Vogons, reading poetry. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy reference. Yes, absolutely.
I love it.
That's awesome.
No, I had not heard about the Black Knight satellite. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. If you look that up, it's a satellite of unknown origin that has been orbiting the Earth for, well, longer than we've been able to get anything into orbit. I don't know if they know exactly how long it's been up there, but it's estimated to be thousands of years old.
Well, considering Sputnik was launched in 51 or whatever it was, 51, 53, it was in the early 50s. Yeah, it does make you kind of wonder, doesn't it? See, now I go run down a rabbit hole here because I want to know more about this thing.
I'm going to grab a picture of the Black Knight real quick.
Okay.
And I'll bring it up. It's a really odd looking kind of, well, it's not a naturally occurring satellite as far as I can tell. They think it's possibly of alien origin, but they don't know what it is.
Oh, that's weird. Huh.
Yeah, there's lots of images of it been captured by the International Space Station and also by the space shuttle, and it's been up there for a long time. And its orbit has not decayed; it stays pretty well in its own orbit. But it's old. They estimate it to be thousands of years old.
That's interesting.
It's really pretty bizarre. Yeah. See if I can find anything actually on it. Wikipedia refers to it as the Black Knight satellite conspiracy theory. The Black Knight satellite conspiracy theory claims that a spacecraft of extraterrestrial origin in a near polar orbit of the Earth, and that NASA is covering up its existence and origin. The conspiracy theory combines several unrelated stories into one narrative. The photo taken during the ST-88 mission claimed to show some Black Knight satellite is cataloged by NASA as a photo of space debris. You know, it seems like they're going to an awful lot of trouble to debunk that. You know, maybe it is space debris, but I don't know. You know, look at that image. I mean, for it to be just space debris, it's got some pretty straight lines. I mean, you know, very, very straight lines. You don't generally find lines that perfectly straight existing in nature.
Well, and when I was reading about it just now, they said it's in a near polar orbit.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a really strange orbit for the space shuttle.
Yeah, it really would be. Papa Bear says the first Black Knight sighting was in 1899. Werewolf 5674 says it's the Borg. John Doe says Rutan Model 76 Voyager made a round world trip in 1984 without refueling, but it was a specialized aircraft designed for range above all else. Papa Bear says Black Knight is estimated to be 13,000 years old.
Huh. Papa Bear also says it looks like Slave One.
It's Boba Fett. He's just waiting.
Yeah. He's causing the earthquakes with those seismic charges.
Yeah. Rosa Jennings says that's some kind of ship. You know, I wouldn't argue that. I mean, look at it.
Well, it's definitely artificial, whatever it is. I mean,
if that's legitimately in orbit, and it's been, as Papa Bear said, the first sighting of it was in 1899. It looks like a derelict spacecraft.
That's where the xenomorphs are now hanging out. Don't go on board.
So you think H.R. Geiger predicted the future? He wasn't actually designing creatures?
Yeah.
H.R. Geiger is the modern day Nostradamus. God, I hope not.
Him and Ralph McQuarrie.
The point is the government knows about stuff like this, and they have for a very long time. Did I lock up?
You're moving on my screen.
Huh. Because it's not one to... I can't do anything on my end. Hopefully, we're still on the air. Well, you've got the login.
Yep, it's showing live on my end.
It still shows live on mine, but my computer's acting really weird. It keeps trying to shut down this website.
It's because you're being censored now.
I might just be.
Uncle Sugar doesn't like what you're talking about, sir.
I'm going to try something. I may vanish.
Okay. And he vanished. Let's see what this button does.
It kicked me completely out of my browser.
I thought I heard him come back on, but perhaps he is not. There he is.
Can you see me?
I can see you on the sidebar. There you are. Now I see you live.
What the heck is going on? My computer's acting really weird.
Somebody said it was the orb. It got into your machine and did something.
It could be. Hey, Naoma, thanks for joining us.
John with Creepers, Cryptid, and Paranormal said that we were talking about the wrong things.
We might have. It was really weird. Just like for no reason, my browser started acting crazy. It wouldn't let me click on anything. It wouldn't let me like bring up chats or nothing. I was like, did I just lock up? The Men in Black are coming to my house. They might be. We might have touched a little. We might have hit a nerve tonight.
I love it. Yeah, I think Louise hit the nail on the head, and then John the Creeper's there.
And then Sal says Big Brother doesn't like the discussion tonight. I probably ought to change my name too, since I logged back in and suddenly appeared as you.
Oh well, this is future me. This is Steve after he's seen some shit.
There we go. That'll work.
I love it.
John says the internet has deteriorated to the point that completely shutting down the ability to watch the video portion. Hopefully everybody can see us now. I think I'm fully back online.
Yeah, you're streaming pretty good. I don't notice any distortion. And I'm gonna flip our windows there.
I don't care where I'm at. Top, bottom, doesn't matter.
I feel safer sitting in the Ed McMahon role rather than the Johnny Carson role.
Can you do the Ed McMahon laugh? That
Yeah, exactly.
Naomi says, put your right hand on your forehead, your left hand on your stomach, and blow 3 times toward Washington while repeating, "Thank you, sir. I understand." That's hilarious. That'll fix it.
It was funny when you were adjusting. Goes, I'm going to try something. It might cut out, and then it goes, and then you're immediately gone. I'm like, well, let's see what this button does.
Yeah, my browser just went crazy, and I have no idea why.
Yeah, you were searching for naughty things, and we're not talking Pornhub.
Apparently, we were getting a little too close to home on something there.
Yeah.
Either that or that weird orb that flew by my head earlier did get into my computer.
Yeah, you got to be careful what you search. You're going to end up on the same watch list I'm on right now.
Oh, I'm sure I'm already on it. Yeah, if you're an author and you do any kind of research at all, you're going to wind up on some watch lists.
Yeah.
Northwood says, have a good night, everybody. I have to get in a nap before doing some major snow removal. Be safe, man. Be careful. Thanks for joining us. Naoma says, another orb. No, just the one that flew by my head earlier. Not sure what the heck it was.
It was his last F flying away.
Montauk Reporting Research says, top or bottom, too many years as a correctional officer. You might be onto something there. Papa Bear says, my stuff always does that when I look up the Black Knight. Huh. Wonder if my browser would go nuts again if I brought the picture back up.
I don't know. See, I can't think of the Black Knight without thinking of that Monty Python sketch.
Yeah. It's only a flesh wound. I've had worse.
I'll bite your arm off.
Naoma. Oh, Rosa Jennings says Aurora can go around the world with one fueling. Naoma says, she says, I saw one fly by you one night after a show. I'd forgotten about that. Naoma and I were talking after a show one night before I logged out, and she saw one fly by my head. Well, this one flew by my head just a little bit ago on the air. I don't know what it was. I saw it on camera, but I didn't see it like out of my peripheral vision. It like zipped by this side of my head, just and kind of looked like it was going toward the camera and then just disappeared.
Werewolf says he's on every watch list. It took years of work.
start doing research on books for cryptids, and you're going to wind up on some watch lists. I can tell you.
Oh my God! Can you imagine the watch list that Jonathan Mayberry's on right now with the whole black budget stuff? Right.
Oh my God! Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't had visits. At this door. Mr. Mayberry, could you come with us, please?
I'd like to have a little conversation with you.
Honestly, I'm surprised I haven't had that visit. The hey, knock this crap off visit.
Yeah. Cease and desist, sir.
Naomi, you are more than willing to join us if you're bored. Sorry, folks. We kind of got distracted because of the browser going crazy. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, we were talking about the Hollow Earth stuff. The Admiral Byrd stuff. There are a lot of YouTube videos on that really go into a lot of the detail about his report about them engaging with this other race, and of course, the reports that Hitler's scientific teams that he sent to Antarctica are very similar. It's really bizarre, the level of detail. Again, I can't swear that, can't say with any veracity that it's true, but the Navy certainly didn't dismiss it. They certainly didn't, go out of their way to say it didn't happen. Well, Naomi can't join us. That's okay. We appreciate you, though, anyway. Thank you for popping in and listening to me and Steve blather like idiots. Creeper Scripted and Paranormal Corner says, my friends looked into stuff and had two nice fellows run into him at the shops and said, hey, mate, time to give that crap up. Stop looking into it, and never seen them again. That's pretty wild. That's wild. Josh says, gave a super chat from Josh. Hey, Josh, jump in and join us if you want, brother. We'd be more than happy to help you. I have you. Steve and I can only carry so much without, losing our train of thought, which we've done a few times.
Well, I'm always just distracted by shiny things, and the orb just threw me off.
Sal says, gotta go, guys. Busy day tomorrow. Take care. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Sal, thanks for joining us. Hope you have a great night, man. Be safe.
Sure. And we lost. Oh, I thought we lost.
Sorry, I was trying to mute my mic and just took myself completely off. I had to sneeze.
Oh, sneeze so hard you blew yourself off the podcast.
Yeah, sneeze so hard I killed my internet connection. Yeah, Josh, go ahead and jump on in, man. Creeper Scripted and Paranormal Corner says they bumped into him and he said, "Oh, sorry guys," and they said that and just walked off. That's bizarre. I've never had anything like that happen, but God knows what the future holds, because I am not going to stop writing anytime soon. Rosa Jennings says, I will look up whatever the Air Force has on the Black Knight satellites. Awesome. Yeah, I would love to hear it. So hopefully Josh will jump in. But the Admiral Byrd stuff is really pretty fascinating, because from some of the videos and accounts that I looked up when I was preparing for this, they go into a great detail about them not just exchanging fire, but it being a protracted fight. And when you talk about the history of the U.S. Navy with Antarctica, there's a long and storied history of the Navy. I don't know if any of you are familiar with what's called the Pi Rice map. It was a map found in in a tomb in Egypt. It was supposedly created by a general named Pi Rice. And when they looked at it, they thought, well, this is a map of a coastline we don't recognize. And then somebody postulated that, hey, this might be a map of Antarctica. Turns out it's a map of Antarctica without ice on it. The Navy did sonar reading, an intensive sonar mapping of Antarctica around the ice shelves to kind of get a look at the coastline. And they said, yes, this is definitely a map of Antarctica without ice, but this section is wrong. And then the Navy went back and checked and found out they were wrong. Their sonar readings were wrong. And the map was actually accurate. So the Pyrite map is actually a map of Antarctica without ice on it, which makes you wonder how the Egyptians got that.
Yeah.
K-Talk says, if Admiral Byrd fibbed about the tunnel through the Earth, how can we believe the rest? You raise a good question. He might have just, with the tunnel through the poles, he might have postulated that as a possibility because he supposedly saw another similar opening over the Arctic. He might have made a supposition that the two somehow connected, but I don't think they go that deep. I think they just go into deep caverns, but not into the core of the Earth, because we know the core of the Earth is molten. Because that's just the way it's made up. I mean, the tectonic plates rest on basically an ocean of molten lava. And occasionally when it squeezes up between the tectonic plates, we get volcanic activity. So we do know that, but we also know that those tectonic plates are hundreds and hundreds of miles thick. With the Earth being almost 3,000 miles thick from, basically point to point, then, there's no way that Byrd's planes could have flown that entire distance. So I'm guessing it wasn't so much that he lied about it, that more of he was making an educated guess, thinking that since there was one on one end and one on the other, they had to connect. So I don't know that would rule out the possibility of him fabricating the story, because a lot of it was documented by the Navy itself. John Doe says, I'm dropping off due to technical difficulties. If you would like to see the DEO stuff, it'd probably be faster to use the Discord to contact me as opposed to waiting until YouTube works right. Yeah, definitely post that stuff in the Discord. I would love to check it out. Creeper Scripted and Paranormal Corner says, my auntie was out Lightning Ridge one night camping with friends. At least 20 people watched these lights in the sky, and the best way she could describe it was a Star Wars dogfighter scene, 10 lights going nuts. That's wild. Blues and G Music says the Navy took Byrd aside and told him to shut up. That's SOP for the U.S. Navy. Doesn't surprise me. I mean, and that area that Byrd claimed was the entrance to the underground civilization is off limits now. It's a no-fly zone. They don't allow expeditions to go into that area, which makes me believe they really don't want us knowing what's in that area.
Well, I wonder if Google Earth would still show anything, or if it would be pixelated
out. Probably blurred out or just obscured. But if it was an underground cave with a large opening capable of, like aircraft flying through, if it was that big of an opening, if it's warm in there, there would undoubtedly be huge vapor clouds above it that would obscure it from view. Kyle Reel said it was talking about the Packers, the Packers losing. Sorry about that, man. I'm not much of a football fan, so I don't generally follow it. I'm more of a
dog in the race.
Yeah, I don't have a dog in that fight. I'm more of a hockey and baseball fan, and wouldn't even consider myself a huge fan in either of those. But those are the only sports I even somewhat follow. Sorry, guys. Still got the lingering effects of that stupid cold I had all week. Hold on, let me think. I just got a message from Josh. Josh says he can join in a minute, so he'll be here in just a minute. So we'll keep going until Josh gets here.
Just got to get half a horn in first.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, like I was saying, the Richard Byrd story. There's a lot of not only conspiracy files, that kind of thing, but there were a couple of History Channel documentaries done on it as well. So I think there's more to that story than we're actually allowed to know. But what has gotten out is pretty interesting. And again, while I won't out and out, I won't out and out dismiss the possibility of there being civilizations at depth within the crust of the Earth. I don't think that there's any veracity to the original theory that the Earth was hollow like an egg, for want of a better term. I think that's been pretty thoroughly debunked. But I definitely think, that we're looking at the possibility of all kinds of things in the deep caverns. Rosa Jennings is in the Air Force. Hopefully she can find something about Black Knight. That would be very cool.
Mm.
There he is. Well, sort of.
His black square has appeared.
Okay, Josh has sort of appeared.
Nope. We scared him away.
I think his connection. He almost says Josh looked up Black Knight too. And that's what it was.
He was
He's
looking
being
while he was
targeted.
offline.
Yeah, they got him. Shouldn't have Googled that, Josh. Oh, I heard the noise that he was here, but there's a weird crap going on with Restream tonight. First, my browser's going nuts, and now Josh is kind of trying to log in but can't make it.
I can't do it. Just, I can't have the power. Stephen Kinney on for us.
I think Josh is trying. I keep hearing that login music that happens when you enter Restream's chat, but he doesn't make it.
He didn't quite make it. Better luck next time.
Doc says, is he like Elvis? Elvis has left the building. That's funny.
Well, it was funny. I looked up the Wikipedia page for the Black Knight satellite theory, and then my tablet suddenly lost 12% of its battery.
That's like the third weird thing that's happened with that. Well, the orb was before the Black Knight thing, which is really kind of weird in and of itself. I've got to go back to when that happened on the video and see if I can crop that out and take a look at it. I know I've got to go back and find it. If anybody remembers what time index that was in the video when that happened, that would be cool.
Yeah, somebody pulled it back and confirmed it.
Mm-hmm. Susan Parsons says, DA just finished the Wild Hunt series. Really enjoyed it. Can't wait for more. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed them. There will be more. The next one is going to be called, the codename Wild Hunt Death and Dyatlov Pass. And that one's coming up very soon. I'm almost done with Lakeview Man 3. I'm hoping to have it done tonight or possibly tomorrow and into edits. I've got to get the back cover blurb done and sent over to Adam, and he'll finish the cover. So hopefully it'll be ready to go before not too terribly long. Two Shadow says, enjoy your show. Dig the real people conversations. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated, ma'am. Thank you very much. Appreciate you saying that. That is really cool. Thank you. I guess Josh is having some serious computer issues because he's never made it in. That's too bad.
I heard him blip a couple of times like he was coming in, but
yeah, maybe he had to restart his computer or something. Creepers Cryptid and Paranormal Corner says, how can we get them in Australia? Or have you just got a website for them? Does Amazon have its own? I'm sorry. Does Australia have its own Amazon affiliate link? I know some people that have made comments and reviews on the books were from New Zealand, so I know they can be downloaded in that part of the world. But you can go to my website, which is daroberts.net, and it should be able to link you to them. But they're all available on Amazon. Hey, Josh.
Wow, that was a journey.
There he is.
What happened?
Well,
did you look up the Black Knight satellite? Man, I said it and it was locked Josh up.
He just froze.
Oh no. Man.
Well, seriously, DA, I just had to reboot my tablet because it is like losing battery like crazy.
That's weird.
I don't understand it.
Mondog 40 and Research says, will Lakeview Man 3 fall into line after the Nightmare Hunter? Yes, it'll be the next one in sequence. So watch for it. On the heels after that one, be looking for Apex Predator Dark Moon. That'll be the next one that'll be in the works. Plus, I've got a couple other side projects that are probably going to be coming along there somewhere very soon. Yeah, we completely lost Josh.
It's kind of interesting that you've got the new Apex Predator book coming out, considering Tuesday or Monday was just the Wolf Moon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the first moon of the new year in January is known as the Wolf Moon, and that's the first book of the Apex Predator series.
And what a day it was.
Well, I heard the login sound for Josh. Josh, what the heck happened, man?
So I'll make this as quick as possible. Tried to log in, and my entire internet shit the bed. Just logging into Restream, Facebook disconnected, Teams disconnected. I started getting all these disconnect messages. I shut everything down, reopened Restream, did the same thing, shut everything down, including the router, rebooted, finally got logged in when you said hi. My temperature went from 68 degrees Celsius to 90 and almost shut my computer down on a heat warning. That only happens when I'm rendering 3D or playing like a super high-end 3D game.
My computer was acting crazy just before you came on. I think we've got to stop. I think we got to stop looking into a certain unnamed satellite that we should probably not discuss anymore.
So that was weird.
Yeah.
So
got to refer to it by a code name or something.
Yeah.
So I had a thought. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just going to say something goofy.
Sorry, we're watching Eternals. Laura had just finished the entire MCU saga available at home. She hasn't seen No Way Home yet, so we were watching Eternals so she could finally say, I'm done. But I've been wanting to join you guys because I had a thought. How can you have a hollow Earth if the Earth is flat? We're not a donut. Sorry. Steve is just giving me the all right, dude. Not happening face.
You're not helping. Not helping at all, sir.
No, I really did have a thought though. So, and I could be wrong, and maybe chat can answer this. You guys may have already gone over this because I missed a lot of the first half. But we guess a lot about what's beneath the Earth's crust. I mean, our scientific instruments only tell us so much. Like below certain level, there's just a lot of scientific guesswork based on the readings we are able to get.
Yeah, pretty much.
So the fact that there could be all these vast ecosystems, again, I think someone, I forget who exactly said it in chat, but I caught it when I jumped in earlier, that granted, there's probably not a hollow Earth in the sense of like we see like on Godzilla where it shows like an entire world, but these vast pockets of ecosystems underneath the Earth's crust, I think is a very likely possibility that you have these vast caverns. And I'm sure, like I said, you guys went over all this, but I thought I'd just dump my 2 cents real quick before, the Black Ops decide to nuke my computer again.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were saying. That the original Hollow Earth about it being hollow like an egg has been pretty much thoroughly debunked. But we know for a fact there are massive cavern systems that we have not explored because we've never gone that deep.
Right. I mean, how deep was that Russian hell portal?
Steve did the math on that earlier, just shy of 8 miles, which we know the crust is hundreds of miles thick.
Right.
Yeah, 40,290 feet is how deep the hole is. They were saying it's 12.2 kilometers, and I didn't do the mile conversion. But,
wow. Someone goes, how do we know that the, we'll call it the Voldemort, is not doing this to us? We don't know.
Yeah, we don't. We have no idea.
2 of the comments together on that one. Lewis says if the Earth was flat, cats would be knocking everything off.
He's not wrong. We had somebody kind of trolling earlier, talking about the flat Earth stuff, and I didn't even want to engage them because it's just absolutely preposterous. But look, every other planet in the solar system is round, but ours,
except for us.
Yeah, except for this one's completely flat.
But they're just tennis ball size in our dome.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so weird. Like that's a whole nother show that you could do. Just everything they come up with is debunked by 5th grade science.
Yeah, I said I didn't have the tinfoil or the crayons to explain how that was wrong and went on.
I don't know. I watch it and I feel dumber watching some of their videos, and I'm just like,
yeah. But I don't really want to get off on that tangent.
I know, but yeah, let's go off on a different.
Yeah.
But
if tangent to go off on.
You're right. If that hole was that deep, which to us going straight down is really deep, and the crust is hundreds of miles deep, there's easily able to have these massive pockets of cavern systems.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's indisputable.
I had a stupid thought when we were talking about how that borehole, they heard the strange sounds, the whales of hell or whatever. I'm picturing some type of intelligent creature living in some kind of a pocket environment down there, and then the drill comes down and they go to pass the microphone down, and they literally walk up to the mic and they're like, whoop, whoop.
Those dumb surface dwellers, we're gonna scare the shit out of them.
Like caw-caw, caw-caw.
Everybody scream.
Stupid.
Oh, let's see. It's this damn cyber monkeys messing with y'all computers. There's a swimming hole near my house that ran out of rope at 3 kilometers. Would love to know how really deep it is. Wow. I don't know if I'd want to swim in a 3 kilometer foot hole.
Yeah. Well, it's like Lake Vostok. They don't know how deep it is.
Antarctica, mainstream science historians give little credit to ancient humans. Somewhere out there wanted to see what was over the horizon. Yeah, like you were saying, the Egyptians having a map of Antarctica. We don't, we can, even with history, we're still making guesses on the little bit of information that was left to us.
Oh, yeah.
There's so much that went on that we have no clue. Like, we look at artifacts. I've been going on a deep dive on YouTube lately on artifacts and discoveries made of ancient history, where we just look at it and go, huh, that's weird.
Yeah.
And we have no answer for it. It's like, that shouldn't be a thing, but it is. We're holding it. We're looking at it. We're seeing the evidence of it. But at the same time, we're like, we don't know how this happened. All kinds of crap was going on back in ancient history that we don't give them enough credit for.
Yeah. Yeah. How much information did we lose when we lost the Library of Alexandria? Oh, I'm going to debunk one conspiracy theory right now. Just completely debunk it.
I'm an alien.
At one time I had hair.
Oh, look at that baby face.
I was 21 in that picture.
Really? I would have
Yeah.
guessed 15.
Yeah, I look like a kid without my beard even now. Yeah,
Man.
that was me at 21. You should see my high school graduation picture. I look like I'm 14 years old. I mean, I look like a small child.
I have a senior photo of me at the like senior prom or something, and then I have also my Coast Guard like, you know, the picture they take at MEPS, you know,
Mhm.
when you first join and you got your blues on. Yeah, no, I look like I'm 12.
Right. You should see my army picture. I look like a little kid playing dress up with his dad's uniform. It's pretty bad.
Let's see. Chat seems to be looping old messages. Probably Lenita, because I'm just getting on and I'm trying to get caught up. So I probably rehashed some old ideas that were already brought up.
Yeah, I got to catch up with the.
Creeper's Cryptid says, I do civil construction, even with all our machines, couldn't remake the pyramids. You know, I agree and disagree with that. Now, I'm not in construction, and I do believe there was more going on with the pyramids than we realize. I don't think it was just as simple as a couple of guys with whips making 12 guys pull a block up a ramp. But simple machines can do some insane movement.
Like how much volume of water could be moved with one of those corkscrew drives. Yeah, you
Da
can
Vinci,
move a considerable amount of water that way.
Da Vinci and a lot of other ancient scientists and philosophers came up with some really nifty machines that can do some crazy things. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. Now the precision cuts are the ones that get me.
Oh yeah.
Like Steve DA, have you heard of like the black sarcophagus that they've recently found? There's like a handful of them that are they're within like a perfect right angle of just a few microns.
Wow.
They are like laser precision, parallel right angles, and they've only found these within the past 5 to 10 years in another chamber. So yeah, there's some weird things that we would struggle to do today. I don't think building the pyramids themselves would be hard, but some of those things like the right angles and stuff are
pretty
kind of
impressive.
crazy.
Naoma says, I just went back and looked at the orb. It doesn't look like the one I saw after the show that night. It's much smaller. Naoma, if you find the time index on that, shoot me a message and let me know. I want to go back and take a look at it and see if I can figure out what it was. Because again, it's not like a dust mote because I've got a really bright light above my computer. If it had been dust, I would have seen it go by my head. If it was a bug, I would have swatted at it. It only appeared on my monitor. It didn't appear anywhere around me.
Mondoc said Archimedean screw is what you're thinking of. Yeah, that thing was nuts. He also said 6'3" and 220 when he enlisted in the Air Force, looked like a kid. I think everyone, picture one, looks like you said, a kid playing dress up, and then when you come out, you're just like, they feed you meat and potatoes.
Well, that, and in the few short weeks, you see some shit.
Yeah, well, getting a basic training before I went in the Army, I couldn't grow hardly any facial hair. I could go like 2 weeks without shaving and nobody would notice. And then by requiring me to shave literally every day, by the end of basic training, I had like 5 o'clock shadow by noon.
Just another reason for the drill sergeant to screw with you. There was this rumor that they were feeding us saltpeter.
Yeah, I remember that. When I was a CO, the inmates used to say that too. Like they put saltpeter in our food. I'm like, that's obviously a lie because of how many I see you guys roughing up the suspect on every round I make overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Roughing up the suspect.
Yeah, that's what we used to refer to it as. And the really bad ones were the ones that would not stop and would make eye contact with you as you walk by and never stop. Like, that's creepy as hell.
Oh, Lord.
I think Hooter might be just catching up because I know on live you can pause it because that would be the flat bagel Earth theory.
The Earth is a piece of pizza dough that the creator of the universe is flipping through the air.
Yep.
Oh,
The creator of the universe is named Luigi. I'm making a dough.
Mayans had tight fit sliding doors. Yeah, like I said, I don't think we give ancient civilizations enough credit. We think that we're so superior now because we got computers and smartphones, and they had nothing but their hands and tools. They
Exactly.
had
And they made the
perfected-
Mayan calendar, and I mean,
yeah.
crap that
They-
people were still like, how the hell did they do that?
When their only entertainment was measuring the movement of stars and well, not entertainment, but like that was their knowledge. Like, what can we learn about our world? You know, they perfected what they knew. And you know, I think it's possible that people sailed further than we give them credit for. Like, clearly they're now just starting to admit, you know, Vikings were in North America as far as like Boston and New York.
Farther than that.
Yeah.
The Heavener runestone in Heavener, Oklahoma was dated at the late 8th century.
There you go.
That's in Oklahoma, like 6 hours from where I live.
It's definitely possible that they saw the coast of Antarctica.
well, you know, you make a very good point. You know, we like to presume that we're so much more advanced because we have the technology. Okay, we've got the sum total of human knowledge, and we use TikTok. I mean,
but you know what? To our credit, the people that use it are perfecting the use of that TikTok. But that leads to my point. We perfect what we know in our age. So yes, we have people perfecting science that are in the science fields that are pushing boundaries of AI and cyber security and all these other fields. But then you have your everyday Joes that aren't in those fields that are perfecting the stupid bullshit that we deal with on a daily basis. But they did the same thing back then, except they were clearly less distracted than we are.
Well, you know, with modern advancements in AI technology, you know, you can have conversations with an AI. You can program an AI to simulate being a real person. You know, it's just a matter of time till the Japanese put that in one of those sex bots.
I think they already have, from what I've read.
They probably already have, but you know, it's just a matter of time till those are on the open market.
Oh my god! They found Viking sacrifice altar, Blue Mountains near Sydney. Wow, that's cool.
That does not surprise me.
No,
the Vikings went some pretty impressive places.
Mondog mentioned the rock in Oklahoma.
Yeah, the Heavener runestone. You can Google that if you want to look at it. It's called Heavner Heavener runestone. There's a state park built around it. Somebody tried to debunk it a few years back and claimed that it was much newer than that. But if it had been newer than that, they would have used the younger Futhark. This is written in the Elder Futhark, which predates the younger Futhark by what, 1,000 years?
At least.
Yeah. Anybody that was like using it in more modern times would use the younger Futhark because that is the system of Norse writing that most people recognize. The Elder Futhark is much older and not everybody knows it.
It would be the equivalent of people using the younger Futhark looking at the Elder like we look at Old English. Like, we can read it, we realize it was a thing, but nobody uses it. You know, like we kind of get it, you know, but there was enough distance between the two. Yeah, that's fascinating.
Yeah, then there were runestones found in Minnesota. And I believe even farther west. And I read one account that I was actually talking to a guy that lives up there. He was saying that the Lakota have words in their English in their language that are of Viking origin.
Really?
Yeah, there are a number of words in their language that are of Viking origin. So there's only one way they learned that.
Sorry. Googling.
Uh-oh.
He's a Googling, folks. Big googly eyes.
Don't watch me while I Google.
Yeah. Just don't Google about a specific satellite that'll go unnamed. Otherwise, we'll lose the signal again. But, coming back around, kind of coming full circle to the original topic, all of this stuff, this ancient knowledge, many of these civilizations talked about races of giants or creatures coming from the depths of the earth. The Greek underworld, the Roman version of the underworld, the Vikings had a version of the underworld. Every major civilization talked about creatures that came from, be they demons or trolls or goblins or ogres or whatever, that came from within the earth. And there has to be a reason for that. And I think, again, that falls right into this hollow earth theory, being things that live in these relatively deep caverns, not like, not as in the earth is completely hollow, that kind of cavern, but some of these deep caverns have gone way deeper than we've ever been. Like Mammoth Cave, they believe Mammoth Cave stretches for hundreds of miles, yet we've only explored less than 1% of it, and it's probably a fraction of 1%.
I mean, we don't have the resources, or at least no one. Okay, we probably have the resources, but no one has taken the time to dedicate the resources to exploring the caves and the systems the way they need to be done. I mean, we have all these drones and stuff now, and I'm sure we've got they got those basically like RC car type things that can go and explore. Like, we should be sending those kind of things in there.
Oh, completely. I mean, autonomous drones, even when some of the reason they claim they don't go to some of the deeper caverns is because of air quality. It's very difficult to get fresh, breathable air at that kind of depth.
Right. All the more reason to send drones in.
Yeah, exactly. The only problem is how deep could it go without it losing signal?
Yeah, right. That's the problem is signal. But and then we have all these caverns that I'm sure are vast and unexplored on the ocean floor as well. Like, think about just the Marianas Trench. How many are coming off the walls of the Marianas Trench, or does that go deeper than we realize? Things like that. We have no idea.
We don't know enough about the bottom of the ocean. We don't know about the depth of the earth. Like I was saying earlier, we've explored less than 10% of the Earth's oceans. We don't know what's down there.
Yeah, I think that would actually be the next best step, would to be try to map and LiDAR the ocean floor a lot more, and really get a true mapping of it.
You might be onto something, Lanita.
Satellite Voldemort.
Things that shall not be named.
I can see them calling in a code name on that. Margolin would have way too much fun with it.
Oh yeah,
yeah, he would.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Rosa Jennings says, "Good night, everyone. It's time for me to do my job." Rosa, thank you for being with us. And if you find out anything on the satellite that we shouldn't probably name, shoot me an email at daroberts@daroberts.net. I would love to hear what you find out.
Well, I think I'm going to bid my adieu along with Rosa. I am crashing hard, and now that you've got another sidekick to take my place here, DA, I'll let you two fine gentlemen continue on the conversation.
All right, brother. Get some rest.
Get some rest,
will
Steve.
do.
Later, brother.
Get to get up early and screw up my car some more.
Oh, that
don't have too much fun.
Oh, I won't. See, it's one of those car repairs that you buy the part in beer, and so it'll be fine.
That's a six-pack fix if I've ever seen one.
Yeah. Well, at this point, I ended up getting 2 beers in and didn't get shit figured out. So we'll start over. All right. Catch you guys later. Good night.
Later, man.
Good night, Steve.
Be safe, man.
Will do.
Yeah, Naoma, it was very brief. I know people like James Cameron wants to do more research and stuff like that. But again, it's a matter of directing resources towards that. And there's a finite number of resources, so the world as a whole has to decide, okay, what's our focus this year?
Yeah.
And I would say the past couple of years we've had a slightly different focus.
Yeah. The Black Plague of the 21st century.
But a lot of people are more concerned with up and out than they are down and below.
Mm-hmm. I think there is a certain amount of knowledge that we are going to learn by going to the stars. That's indisputable.
100%.
We are going to learn. We're going to find resources we never knew existed. We're going to, encounter all kinds of wondrous things and see new sights that no human has ever seen. And I'm 100% behind that. But we also need to direct a part of our attention at learning more about our own planet. Because these caverns, we're just scratching the surface of this. No pun intended.
No, we really are, though.
Yeah, they're very, very small percentage of these caverns have actually been explored, and we don't know what's down there. And again, talking about the missing 411 cases, I know I've kind of hammered this beat this like a
reason
a dead horse.
Though. You could show these maps to two different, to a multitude of people and remove the titles off of them. And just say, hey, tell me what you see here. Do you see a correlation, or am I crazy? And they'll be like, no, there's definitely especially in the Appalachians. There's a huge correlation there. Like, you could just show this to random people, no context, and they're going to be like, oh, yeah, those are those the same maps?
Yeah, you weren't able to join us on Wednesday, Josh.
No.
We also talked about the location of them finding giant bones in caves and in graves and stuff like that. I found a map of locations where they found the giant bones. Now look at these maps where these clusters are, and look at this.
Huh. Weird.
Those are all locations where giant bones have been found, and it's been covered up.
Almost as if they're related.
Yeah. Weird. Who knew?
It is not entirely improbable to think that, one, Sasquatch and things like dogmen are using these vast cave systems to not only
because they know we won't follow.
Right. They're like, well, we've been around for thousands of years. They're up here watching TikTok. They're not down there. So we can come up and do our normal forest stuff. But if we really need to move, we can use these cave systems.
When we do finally get crystal clear footage of a dogman or a Bigfoot, it's going to be some jackass trying to pose with it for a TikTok. And it's going to be found footage.
Hey, fam, it's your boy. I'm here with the dogman. Just hanging out. And oh, shit. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe. I would not. I mean, have you had a chance to watch Don't Look Up yet on Netflix?
No, I have not. I haven't watched it yet.
Again, I tell people, it doesn't matter what side of the political field you're on, because they definitely make some parallels, but it's still funny to watch. At the very end, I don't want to ruin it, but you guys got to stay for the after credits, because there's very much one of those scenes. It fits really well. The pressure at the depth has not been engineered for yet. Yeah, see, we know more about Mars than the deep ocean of the Earth. And you're not wrong, Werewolf. And that's the problem. I think before we can really wrap our minds around another planet, we should really know and understand our own planet, in addition to, maybe taking steps to take care of the planet and ourselves.
Exactly.
Instead of this being typical humans going, well, done trashed this one, let's move on.
Folks, if you want to do more to help your environment and help reduce, there are federal and state programs in place right now where you can put solar panels on your homes for nothing out of pocket if you own the house. The government and states will subsidize the solar panels on your roof to help ease the burden off the power grid. And we all know the power grid's really not going to be up to the task in the next 20 years when even more electric cars are on the road. So, take advantage of those government programs if you want to get
Yeah.
solar panels on your house, especially if you live out in the middle of nowhere. I mean,
Yep.
the odds of you losing the grid in the middle of nowhere are pretty high.
Exactly.
Because when the demands for the big cities get high, it's the smaller grids that they shut down.
Yep. And see, this isn't even a discussion about global warming or any fringe topics. This is literally just about choosing a better way to take care of ourselves, our planet, and our future. Because if we keep going the way we're going, even if you remove global warming out of the equation, we're chewing up a finite resource.
Well, and even if you don't want to get on into any of that, the simple fact is, if you use these programs, you can cut your electrical bill
Save
down to
money.
almost nothing. In
Right.
fact, you might be producing enough solar energy, depending on what part of the country you live in, to sell energy back to the power plants.
Is George trying to get us to dance with the devil here a little bit?
Yeah, George, don't even type that name. It's liable to make things go wonky.
I've been thinking about solar, but there's some glitches I have to look into. But it's good. There's a lot more than just solar. People can set up their own wind.
Yeah, you can buy kits to build your own wind generators.
There's a lot of different things, and again, a lot of people have different opinions of Elon Musk, but he has some new household batteries out now that
the Tesla batteries.
Yeah, they accumulate and actually will put back onto the grid. You can make money from your electric company and still power your house.
Because there's a law in place that says if you're generating electricity at your home and you have excess, the power companies have to buy it. But we're totally digressing.
Yeah,
and
so
I think Elon Musk is brilliant, but I think he's one long-haired Persian cat away from being a Bond villain.
Well, see, that's the problem. I mean, this is well documented. People who are extremely intelligent, your mind is like any other scale. You tip the scales one way or the other, and extremely intelligent people have the borderline of being a little bit on the fringe.
Show up on psychoapathy or socioapathy. Naoma's trying to jinx us.
That's probably the best. That's Naoma. That wins best comment so far.
Yeah, I think so. I know if you Google it, it certainly makes your browser go crazy because that's what happened to mine.
Yeah, it was so weird. Like I didn't even do anything. All I did was hit join, and it was like bloop bloop bloop, doo, just shutting down. The overheating thing was the weirdest thing. It's never done that. So yeah, Susan, you're not wrong. This late into the show, even though I'm early, not early, but just joined, it gets a little squirrely.
Yeah, we stayed pretty much on topic for most of the first 2 hours. And this is kind of the section of the show where we kind of go off the rails anyway, and we start talking about weird topics and food and mention the Discord. And, oh, by the way, if you guys haven't hit the like and subscribe button, please do that and share the video with your friends. It helps us get farther out there and helps us to continue to bring content like this. And also, Josh, you want to tell them about the new thing that just came up?
Yeah, I was actually going to do that. I noticed I'm still one of the very few that's probably a member right now. So where it says subscribe, right next to that now is a button that says join. And you can do that while you're on live chat. There's 2 different levels. It's a monthly subscription to the channel. You're helping out the channel, bringing more stuff that we can do. And what it will do for you, it's only like a couple bucks. I think it's $1.99 and $4.99 a month, the 2 different levels. It's really cheap. But what you get is you get cool badges, and the longer you're here, your badges will change color so people can see how long you've been a part of the channel. You get custom emojis. I have a couple Bigfoot emojis uploaded, a wild hunt emoji, and one that looks like claws, which is really cool. And then if you're a part of the $4.99 group, in addition to that, D is going to start dropping member-only videos. You can do member-only chats like Q&As and stuff like that, but in order to get to that point, we have to have members to give that stuff to. So once we get a little bit of a depth of membership, we can start doing more with that. So again, we try to keep it relatively cheap so it still helps out the channel, but also isn't hard on your pocketbook. So it's a win-win for everybody. So smash that join button and be a part of the Cryptic crew.
And now that I have a vehicle and things are getting back to normal after the wreck, I'm going to be going out and doing more filming, because there for a while I was doing it pretty consistently, and then events happened and conspired against me. But I've got some places here that are within a day's drive of where I live that are going to be some pretty good videos. And then, of course, there's other places that I'm going to be going that are even farther out. I want to go back. I'm planning another. I'm hoping to do a week this time in LBL. I also want to go down to Brown Springs. I've got some guys that are going to be coming on the show this coming Wednesday. The guys from Trinity Paracryptid are going to be coming on the show this coming Wednesday. And those guys have been to Brown Springs in Oklahoma a lot. And I'm planning an expedition down there with them so I can film at Brown Springs and talk about the events that happened down there. I want to go to Taylor, Mississippi, where the siege at Lockett Ranch was. And there's so many places I want to go. I want to eventually get up to Maine, where some of those Dogman stories are coming out now. I'm going to get up to Bray Road. I plan to do some overnight filming on Bray Road with my dash cam. A lot of places I'm going to be filming, and those videos will debut first on the member chat. Some of them will go to the Patreon as well.
Absolutely. Did my chat freeze? Because I've seen it go on YouTube, but it's not showing up in Restream past Greg or George, not Greg. I don't know.
It may have stopped on mine too.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I'm going to disable chat and re-enable it and see if that kicks it back on.
I don't see anything.
Oh, there it goes. It just skipped a bunch of people is all it did. So Meg asked, where is that join button? So like I said, if you're on your mobile phone, you can actually exit out of chat and still watch the video. Right next to where you click the subscribe button below the video, there is now a new button that says join. And that's where you can get access to it. So if you close out a live chat, it's not going to affect you at all. If you're on your computer, you can actually see both without having to close out a live chat. And you can hit that like button while you're out there too.
Heck yeah. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell so you get all the alerts every time we go live. Lene Perkins says LBL is only 2 hours from me. I spent decades trailering my horses there to camp and ride. It's a beautiful area. But there are a lot of cryptid stories coming out of there. So I want to film in some of those areas, some of the more remote areas of the park. And hopefully I can get some really good videos to share with you guys. As I know when I was there back in July, I got some really good footage.
Go Pack, go. Sorry, I just had to grab that George Jennings comment real quick.
Ellen Harrington says, Maine has a well-run Bigfoot organization. Meet me up there this summer. I'm sure there are people up there who would like to talk Dogman with you. Yeah, I would love to be able to make that trip. That's going to happen at some point. Of course, I've got a couple of irons in the fire that I can't really talk about yet because of certain obligations. But as soon as I'm able to talk about that, you guys will be one of the first to know.
Real quick, I just want to cut in here because these particular notifications do not come through DA. We're going to try to figure out a way for him to see them. But Werewolf, welcome to the Wild Hunt.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
We got a new join up.
Blues and G Music says, where is Brown Springs? I'm in Wichita, Kansas, raised in OKC. Brown Springs, I believe, is southeast of Oklahoma City, down toward Texarkana. I don't know exactly where it's at. I haven't been there, but I know it's a very active area for Bigfoot sightings. And the guys from Trinity Paracryptid, those guys have been there several times. It's one of their favorite research areas, and I already talked to those guys about taking me with them in the very near future.
I was going to let you guys know too, since my schedule is going to be changing here shortly. I'm going to get a lot more time off and some extra vacation. My plan is, if anyone's interested at all, I don't know how many people care, but I'm going to try to meet up with DA and Naoma at the Bigfoot convention as well as their LBL trip. So
awesome.
That's a plan. We'll see how it pans out, but that's in the cards.
I see the Wild Hunt from Werewolf on the YouTube screen, but I didn't see it in the chat.
No, see, that's what I was mentioning to them is we got to keep an eye on the YouTube chat just for the memberships. The super chats will come through, but the memberships don't. I'm hoping to find a way for you to get those. I told Restream what we really need is those live notifications like Twitch has
Mm-hmm.
that pop up on the screen, which would be really cool to have.
Hell yeah, it would.
They said it's in their feature request, so who knows? They're pretty good about implementing stuff. But as of right now, the way to see members is to watch the YouTube chat. I usually have it up anyway for moderation, but
Restream recently added the green screen,
yeah,
but I had to go back to using the green screen modulation through OBS
because it's
because
better.
yeah, because the one Restream implemented sucks because
it
you
does.
can't adjust it at all.
Let's see. Creeper says that's awesome, Josh. I wish I could get the family over to the US so we could see these conferences. Yeah, hopefully they'll start picking back up. The problem is they try to implement a lot of these and like half of them end up getting canceled anyway. And it's not just cryptid, but like all conventions have kind of been hit or miss over the last year or so.
Yeah.
It just depends on the Black Plague spike.
I used to do a lot of convention appearances before the Black Plague of the 21st century hit, but I've been real reluctant about booking them because, you know, a lot of them, if they cancel, it takes forever to get your money back. And sometimes you don't, depending on the conventions, because there's some of them that just won't refund your money. So I've been real reluctant about booking some of these too far out.
Naomi says, yay to Joss meeting up with us, not yay to Green Bay losing. Yeah, Green Bay losing is no bueno.
Well, Naomi's heading for bed. Naomi, thank you for joining us in the chat. You are awesome, Naomi. Thank you.
Speaking of getting through work, I'm actually going to be going through the story outline for the video game tonight. Nice. And writing up some, fleshing it out as you say.
Awesome. There are a few things I wanted to chat with you about before we call it a night. I mean, once we're off the air, obviously.
Yeah. I wouldn't be allowed to fly over there yet. Hopefully, they change the rules for flying. We love Yellowstone and want to live over there. Yeah, Yellowstone's amazing. I haven't been there, but I've seen a lot of videos and stuff.
I've been there, but it was a long time ago. Stay away from Yosemite because that is where the biggest cluster of disappearances that are listed on the missing 411. It is the largest cluster of disappearances.
Have a living will if you go to Yosemite.
Yes.
Speaking of Yellowstone, though, we are using a lot of inspiration, as you would, from the visitor center and some of the POIs in the park for the game.
Nice, awesome.
Even though the Bauman National Park won't be there, we've debated on where we want it, but I think we're going to put it on the west side of the Appalachians.
Well, there are a lot of parks in that area you could base it on as well.
Yeah, Yellowstone has a really cool visitor center, though. It's one of the better looking ones.
The visitor center at Bennett Springs State Park here in Missouri is really nice too.
Yes, I think he did actually take some inspiration from that as well. What in the monkey trouble is going on here?
George Jennings says Yellowstone is one big volcano. Yeah, they refer to it as the Yellowstone caldera. And if it went off, it would pretty much kill most of the life on North America.
Probably. I was going to grab a picture. Speaking of the game, Adam sent me a picture recently because he's working on it every day from about 5:30 in the morning till about 1 in the morning. He's really, really kicking it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, this will be a good one to show you. He's fleshing out the interior. I'll grab this one. And then there's one more I wanted to show you. Wow, that was a lot of discussion. 59 replies. Have you had a chance to log into Teams yet?
Maybe.
We got to get you. We got to get you on there so you can see Oh, that's new. I didn't see that. I'm going to be showing you guys stuff that I'm just now seeing.
I think you sent the Teams invitation to the incorrect email. My
possibly
my team's my Microsoft Teams is associated to my personal email, not the daroberts@daroberts.net account. That's the
Gotcha.
one I use for the show and everything, and for the books. But it's the Teams is set up with my personal account.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Is there room to upload photos?
If not, you can delete quite a few of those. Bobfoot says, "Have you ever watched the channel Bob Gimlin?" I have. I like a lot of his content. He's got some pretty good stuff. There are a few channels out there I kind of refuse to watch these days because, well, I think they're just making crap up. But I won't call anybody out by name because I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to particularly bust anybody out. But there are a few channels I just refuse to listen to because I think they're full of it. But Gimlin's not one of them. I kind of like his stuff. Do you need me to delete some images?
No, I just I didn't want to just throw it up there until we were ready. So if you guys don't mind, I'm going to show off just a couple quick pictures from the game. DA, I'm sure you'll be interested to see some of these.
Heck yeah.
So this one here was before he started fleshing out the interior. That's just from looking out the front window of the visitor center.
I'm guessing it faces west.
It will change orientation later. This is just him building out the model.
Oh, okay.
The map hasn't even been rendered yet. So big news. We have completely dumped Unity and started over from the ground up. We're now going with Unreal for many, many reasons. You guys know that we've had to dump a lot of things and start like faces over, and it's all because of Unity. So Adam finally said, you know what, we're just going to switch to Unreal. He has to learn a new system of programming, but he's picked it up in like less than a week. So Adam is a beast. Here is a really cool mock-up of the mine, but in the visitor center is like a display. You know how they show, you go to a visitor center, they show like little aspects of the park.
Mm-hmm.
This is the mine. And then here is a zoom out. I love how he put like models of trees.
Yeah.
Because a lot of parks have that kind of stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
So those are just some quick little things that we wanted to show off as he's starting to build out the interior. So, yeah, Creepers Unreal was really the way we wanted to go, but Adam was hesitant because it's a completely different programming style. With Unity, he was used to programming all the code. What he's found, what they call it blueprints in Unreal, where they actually connect almost like a flow chart, and he almost has to do no programming, just know how the nodes connect. And so while it was unfamiliar, it was actually easier. Once he realized that, he just started going to town. So he's very excited. Yeah, Blues. Adam, ask DA. We'll present him with an idea. Not even, hey, go do this. We're like, it would look kind of cool. And 15, 20 minutes later, he'll be like, how's this look?
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, that's exactly what I thought, but I didn't know you were working on it.
Yeah, it was like I was shooting ideas to him. We were discussing what I was kind of looking for for the cover of Beast of Blunk Road for Lakeview Man 3.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And like 15 minutes later, he's like, I found this picture online. How does this look? And he just let this mock up. I'm like, it's pretty badass, man. He's like, yeah, I'm going to go down there tomorrow and take some actual photos. This could be a lot better.
Yeah. He's and like I said, since he's working on it almost 20 hours a day. I mean, he takes several breaks in between, but like it literally is like 5 a.m. till like midnight, 1 o'clock. He takes a little nap in between and takes breaks, but he's really trying to double down on this. And what's cool is Unreal also offers so many free add-ons that we've paid almost $1,000 for in Unity it's just a wash now because we're not going to use it. But we're hoping that won't matter in the long run. You live, you learn.
Well, anyway, you learn.
Yeah. So yeah, at one of these days, within probably the next month, I'd like to actually get with DA and just do a AMA show. Get Adam on if we can. He's not really a come on the show type guy, but if we're talking about the game,
We might be able to get him.
He'd jump on and answer questions with us. That way you guys can just fire off. We want to get it closer to where we have a little bit more to show off than just a few images and a quick video. But hopefully soon we'll have something to do that with and really show you guys something.
Yeah, that would be pretty freaking cool. There was something I was wanting to talk about. Do you remember when I mentioned a few weeks ago that when we hit 2,000 subs, I was going to give away a book?
Yeah, have we hit 2,000 subs?
No, we're at 1,838.
Ooh.
We are less than 200 away. And the books I have on hand, I have Lakeview Man, Codename Wild Hunt, Odin's Call, The Nightmare Hunter, and Ragnarok Rising: The Awakening. That's what I have right at the moment. I could probably order more in, but I'll probably give one of those away, an autographed edition.
So yeah, guys, be sure to be sharing these streams and the channel. We don't have much longer before we hit that. So
good night, Lene. Thank you for being
good
here.
Night. Be epic to give some of that stuff away.
Speaking of giveaways, we haven't done one yet tonight.
I'll get the Nightbot running, and
right,
we'll give it away here in about 5 or 10 minutes or so.
All right, let's get Nightbot rolling, folks. If you haven't been active in the YouTube chat, monkey roll the keyboard, say hi, say something, go, say whatever,
Go.
say anything cool, say anything, whatever you like, say hello, something along those lines, and we will be giving away.
It just came up, so if you typed in the last 2 minutes, go ahead and retype because I just got it watching you guys. So type again.
We will give away an Amazon gift card. How's that sound?
Sounds great to me.
We will give away a $5 Amazon gift card, which coincidentally is good for anything on Amazon. But the really coincidental part is that the Kindle downloads of most of my books are $4.99. So if you kind of coincidence, I think not.
Ellen, I'm half tempted to, instead of doing a timed watch, to do a keyword and just make it black cannot. Knigget.
Silly English Knigget.
So yeah, everyone just go ahead and type in chat. Like I said, if you've typed in the last couple of minutes, it didn't catch you. So just anything, just say I'm still here, or why do you guys look so funny? Ask me about the games. Now we're not doing it yet because I wanted to talk with DA, but there's a chance that in the future that members might have slightly more luck on the giveaway, because that's a perk for being a member. Not yet, but we've.
Werewolf 5674 says, DA, do you have one of your hardbacks to show yet? No, I do not. I need to get some ordered in. We might just give away a hardback. I mean, we'll see. I've got to order some in. My wife has been bugging me for a month to order books. So when I get my check this month, I might just have to order in some books.
Really want you to commission a small number, like 50 to 100, of special edition Ragnarok Rising hardbacks with like a special cover and everything, like a box set.
I have looked into that, but I have not been able to find a place where I could do the box sets.
I know it would be kind of expensive to get it done, but those they would sell, and they would sell well, and I want one for myself. Oh, it would be so awesome to have like a really nice special edition box set.
Yeah, we would have to see if I could find a place that'll do the box sets, and then of course I'll have to have Adam do custom covers. Dorothy Metcalf says, I've just sat down my son's blanket. I'm crocheting. This has been a great show, DA. Thank you. We really appreciate it. Thank you for being with us.
Hey, Hooter, welcome to the Wild Hunt. Hooter Transport joined.
Hey, awesome. Thanks, man. I don't see it on mine, but
Werewolf, give that another go. Somehow that got muted, but I think you're in anyway. Yeah, you are. Yeah, I'm trying to have chat up at the same time to watch for the members joining.
AJ Congdon says, DA, did you hear Cam's video about the RCMB cryptid response? Yes, I did. That's a really great thing, but you reminded me of something. I'm not sure if it's going to be Wednesday night or Saturday night. I've got to talk to Cam about it. But Cam Buckner is going to join us on the show for half hour to an hour next week, probably Wednesday, since that's the night Naoma's here. So I can't say for sure yet. I'm supposed to call him tomorrow and set that up. But Cam will be on the show one of the shows next week.
Got you guys into cryptids and everything else. Oh, that's a good question. While we're waiting for people to type, what got you into cryptids? I know you've answered it before, but let's hit it up again.
Where's the question? I didn't even see it.
Right here.
Okay.
Oh, no, wait,
nope,
no,
that's
the wrong. Where did it go? It moved on me. And of course, that was the one I randomly clicked on.
Of course. Well, I started getting into cryptids back in the mid 70s when I first saw the Patterson Gimlin film when I was a kid. And then, of course, as I read books on Bigfoot and listened to the Leonard Nimoy show, watched the Leonard Nimoy shows, The In Search Ofs. It really kind of fueled it, but it wasn't until my uncle told me he'd had a sighting when it just absolutely gelled. And I want to say 8 when he told me that story. And I've just been a lifelong addict ever since. Been digging into everything cryptid I could find since then.
I've always been in love with like the woods. I went camping as a kid, and I've always heard the stories. I haven't had a whole lot of direct experience. I've had more paranormal experiences than I have cryptids, but being friends with people like DA and stuff like that has really got me, because I feel like it's an extension of paranormal, even though in my personal opinion, I don't see cryptids as paranormal. I feel like it's kind of in that outer sphere, whatever you want to call it, of normality. I don't know what you would word that as, but it falls into my likes because of what it is. So definitely just fascinated because of what it is.
Creepers Cryptid and Paranormal Corner says, I've always wanted to be a national parks ranger. Imagine what they would see. I wanted to go into being a park ranger years ago, but I told my wife I wanted to be a park ranger in Denali National Park up in Alaska. And her response was not only no, but hell no, we're not moving to Alaska. She hates the cold.
Sir.
She hates the cold.
Earlier I saw several people were also saying a box set would be really cool. Ragnarok's an awesome series. So
I'm going to look into that. I mean, I couldn't really do a box set on any of the others yet because the series aren't complete.
No. That's why I said with the sagas, it's a perfect series to do a box set.
Yeah, it kind of lends itself to that since it's a completed series. But
and you could do such a really cool like covers, like do hardbacks with like really cool, like give them really themed covers, and like I don't know, just I have so many ideas.
Yeah, it's something we could definitely talk about, but you, me, and Adam brainstorming. But I lost my train of thought. What I was going to say.
Sorry.
Oh no, I just my train of thought does that. It tends to wander off on its own. God dang it. Oh yeah, it's about Lakeview 3. You're talking about Ragnarok kind of flagged something. For those of you who are fans of the Ragnarok Rising Saga, there's going to be a couple of familiar faces from Ragnarok show up in the new Lakeview Man. I won't say who. I'm not going to say who. You can guess all you want. I'm not going to confirm it or deny it, but there will be a couple of familiar faces from the Ragnarok Rising series in the new Lakeview book. And I'm hoping to finish that tonight or tomorrow.
Oh, nice. I didn't realize you were that. I knew you were getting close. But
I'm pretty damn close.
I did some more writing the other day, and I just, between the holidays and being sick on and off, I haven't really had a chance, but I want to get back at it. But now that we're hitting the game hard, I got to do a lot of writing with that too.
I've decided I need to reorganize my time because I've got a couple of side projects like the Balka story and my new sci-fi project that I need to be working on in addition to my main cryptid stories. So the primary book I'm going to be working on after Lakeview 3 is going to be Apex Predator Dark Moon. That one's the next big cryptid book I'm starting. But Man's Marauders and the Heart of Iron are both also projects that I want to finish. And Heart of Iron's almost 30,000 words in.
Oh, nice.
So I'm gonna do a couple of days a week, like where I work on one or the other of those, and then the rest of the week, like the other 5 days, I work on Apex, because I don't want to completely get away from those projects, but I do want to get them done.
General brought up a really good point too.
Plus the 10-year anniversary, correct?
That would be kind of a cool thing to release. Just saying. Oh man, I have to go for real this time. Lene says, "Oh, I missed it. It lagged out on me." Who can't wait to read Lakeview 3? Good night again, folks. Good night, Lene.
Good night, Lene. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, I'm hoping more of them get put out on audiobooks. I mean, I'm still collecting the books as I go, but it's nature of, well, I'll have more time to read here in the future, so maybe I'll get back to actually reading a book. George says, my first encounter with Bigfoot was I was in the Navy after being stationed at a bingo base. We were deployed to help the New York National Guard. We were flying Navy gunships, helicopters. He needs to continue with a bingo base.
I don't know.
I've heard the term used before, but Werewolf says Wild Hunt's his thing.
Awesome.
Wild Hunt's pretty awesome.
A couple of members of the Wild Hunt will also show up in Lakeview 3, but it's just toward the end.
Yeah, I'm excited. We ended killed 3 Bigfoots.
Damn. That would be a great story to hear.
Yeah, you should if you remember the details, shoot DA an email.
I'd love to hear the story. If you want
the story anonymized, even though you've told us the generals, we'll just shoot it on over.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about the story on the air.
Hell yeah. That's nuts. I love it. I mean, I don't like the fact that they died, but things happen. Man, that's cool. Oh. Yep, we got it. We saw it, Meg. Let's see. Well, I'm about ready to go behind the wire. Night all. Good night, Monduck.
Night, man.
Speaking of Monduck, because I know he's joined. At least I think he has. The Discord channel. We've had more and more people join, been having more discussions in a lot of the different rooms. So be sure to join the Discord server. I'll put the link up here in chat again. That's not the right box. That's the emoji box. Join, hang out, because we're in there all the time. So in between shows, it's a great place just to talk with other members of the community. There's a general chat room where you guys can literally talk about anything you want. There are cryptid chat rooms. There's chat rooms about the books. There's even the NADP section if you want to be a part of that. So lots of, Papa Bear's in there. We need more people to have more conversations. So we need more people to join, because it's a great place just to chill. It's like these types of conversations that we have towards the end of the show, we can have all the time in the Discord. So definitely check it out.
I forgot to check the Discord to see if there are any questions for the show tonight.
Did you put a thread up?
Well, no, I didn't put another one up. I thought the same one was still up.
No, remember, it archives after 24 hours. It goes away. You have to do it before every show.
Okay, then disregard. I forgot to put it up.
So, guys, that's another thing that DA is going to start doing is the night before the show. he will post up a thread in which you can ask questions. And these are kind of a ask anything style question, whether it's on topic on the show or just want to ask DA a question. Just fire it off in the thread and he'll do like a section. Yeah, Ellen, I understand. We're trying to get more people. That's the problem. Is there's only a handful of active people, and they're only active at certain times. So,
and if you want to send me a message on Discord or talk to me through Discord, I get the alerts on my phone. So if you shoot a message to me on Discord, I'll get it as long as it actually shows up on my phone like it's supposed to.
But yeah, back to the question thing. If you ask the day before, like I said, we'll have the thread posted. He'll be able to answer them on the air. So another cool thing, we're trying to get more involvement in the Discord by doing things like that. So yeah, and like I said, Ellen, it is a little slow right now, but there's quite a few people in there, but they're either not very active or they're active at different times. We're trying to get more of a conversation going. And I have a different Discord with a completely different topic, but DA has been in there. He said it takes a little while, but once it takes off, there's a lot of conversation.
Yeah, definitely. We talk about all kinds of crazy stuff.
George, don't take that personally. Cam Dixie Cryptid is swamped with his personal work testimonies he gets. Oh, I think he was George saying he tried to tell Cam or something.
Yeah, he gets literally hundreds of emails a week.
Yeah. I mean, he's got like 300,000 viewers now, so or more. So definitely probably a lot to go through. Yeah, absolutely. Creepers, definitely check it out. You can have the app on your phone. You can have it on your computer. We have it on both because we kind of bounce back and forth. But that's the nice thing, that once a conversation gets going, you can kind of jump in and out of it. Even if you're a day late, you can scroll through the chat thread and reply to someone that posted something yesterday and keep the conversation going. It's a really cool platform. Oh, yep. So what'd you eat for dinner tonight? We haven't talked about food yet.
Chicken fried rice.
Ooh, one of my favorites. We had pizza.
We had that last night.
Today was Scarlett's birthday, my stepdaughter.
Tell her happy birthday.
And she's 6 years old today. We went to go bowling, and the lanes were full. And there was a group sitting there in front of their lanes. Their game had been done for 15, 20 minutes, just sitting there slowly drinking beer. So we're standing there waiting. And they got up. We thought they were getting ready to leave, and they bought another game. And we're like, time to go home. Let's see. Papa Bear had pork chops smothered. Ooh, yummy.
That sounds pretty tasty.
Heck yeah. George, check out How to Hunt. Steve will read it, especially he likes vet accounts. Definitely people checking out Discord. Absolutely. Yep. So what's do you have a topic for next Wednesday yet?
I'm going to have guests. Those
cool.
guys from Trinity Paracryptid will be on, and they're researchers out of Texas.
Very nice.
We're going to be talking about their research they've done in the Big Thicket area, in around Brown Springs. They've researched all over the place. So I'm looking forward to having those guys on. I was on their show last Monday night, and it was a good time.
Very nice. So those of you who know Patty from chat, I'm sure you guys have seen Patty at some point. And she and I are still planning on doing a paranormal show. If you are into paranormal, ghosts, monsters of the paranormal, stuff like that, that is coming in the near future. So that is definitely a thing. She's got her equipment finally. She just had a lot of stuff going on at home. There's a little bit of black plague floating around her neck of the woods. So just she's doing good from last I've heard. Just they're trying to get through the quarantines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that should be coming in the near future, and we're excited for that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. You guys are going to have a good show with that.
I think it'll be fun.
For we get too terribly crazy. I want to take a chance to play the new commercial from Dark Angel.
Do we want to run the giveaway real quick?
Oh yeah, we probably ought to do that.
All
we
right.
completely forgot.
One last second. If you haven't typed in the last 15 minutes, do it again real quick. That's on us.
We'll play the commercial while we give everybody a chance to monkey roll the keyboard.
Yeah, there's quite a few people still in there, but it's been running, it's got a 15-minute timer. So if it's been 15 minutes since you chatted, do it again, and we'll do it after the commercial.
Well, here's a word from Doc over at Dark Angel Medical. And remember, you guys are the praying type. Say an extra one for Doc because he's been really sick.
Hey everybody, this is Terry Pocket Doc Davis from Dark Angel Medical, and you are listening to DA Ex Machina with DA Roberts. You may recognize me or some of my products from Dark Angel Medical in some of the Apex Predator, Lakeview Man, and Wild Hunt books, and you can get those products at www.darkangelmedical.com, along with training classes on how to use those products and save a life. Shoot us an email at info@darkangelmedical.com and be the difference.
And remember, if you go to darkangelmedical.com and purchase a kit, use the discount code Cryptid25 for 25% off your order. And if you order one of the new spear kits, in the comments when you order, put in Team Odin, and they will put one of the Team Odin rockers on the patch.
Absolutely. All right, so this is your last chance. Hooter, I saw you dropped off there, so if you want back in, say something real quick. I've been trying to watch this, seeing if people are a couple more people just dropped off. So, real quick, type in chat because we're gonna go ahead and roll it. I'm gonna give it about another minute just because we're on a delay.
Werewolf 5674 is summoning Cthulhu.
Yep.
Meg says, Scarlet, happy birthday.
Oh, I'll be sure to let her know that everybody in chat was reaching out to her and saying happy birthday. There's Hooter. He's back in. Okay. Give it a second here, and we're going to go ahead and spin it. 3, 2, 1. AJ Cogden is the winner.
Congratulations, AJ. And Creepers Cryptid and Paranormal Corner said, would they ship to Australia? Yes, they ship everywhere.
Yeah, Blue. Was it Blue who asked? Or Blues in G Music. There is definitely a delay. It's not much of one, but we do have a little bit. All live services on the internet. Every live video you see on the internet, whether it's Twitch, YouTube, wherever, there is a monochrome of delay anywhere from about 20 seconds to upwards of 2 minutes, depending on how they have it set up. So, for example, let's count that off.
It's about 20-25 seconds.
Yeah. We're not quite there yet, but I'm getting pretty close to where I was going to do it. About 20 to 30 second delay.
AJ, if you will email me at daroberts@daroberts.net, I will get that gift card code sent to you. I'll get that sent to you, well, as soon as I get the email. So, email me at daroberts@daroberts.net, and I will get that out to you just right as soon as I get your email.
Two Shadows. Yeah. Laura, my fiance, has been watching that. She says pretty good.
What's Two Shadows?
No, Two Shadows is a user. Archive 81 is the show.
Oh, okay. I got you.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and we're going to donate another journal because why not? I'm on the show, so might as well do another giveaway. So awesome. If you don't mind.
I don't mind a bit. Mark said thank you for his. He got it and loves it.
Awesome. Papa Bear. Papa Bear is the next winner. If you would like I think you may have gotten a journal before, or did he get a give? He got, I think one of the very first giveaways, he got a code.
I think he got a code.
But Papa Bear, shoot me a message. You can email me and I'll put it in chat. There's a handful of journals now that you can get from DA. There is the Wild Hunt and a couple versions of the Nightmare Hunter journal.
Yeah. We also need to do one for the NADP region too. I got permission.
Giveaway
the
or the logo?
No. To make the
journal.
The journal.
Gotcha. I don't know if it'll let me post this as me in chat. If not, I'll do it over here. Ba-doop. I doubt it's going to come through because links are dumb. Yeah, it didn't come through. So I will post it via Restream and it will go through.
Again, AJ, if you're still listening, just email me at daroberts@daroberts.net and I'll get that code out to you as soon as I get the email.
Papa Bear, so he got the Paranormal TV gift set.
Oh, cool.
That's awesome. All right. Papa Bear, I put my email in chat. Go ahead and shoot me an email and I'll get that journal out to you, bud. Like I said, take a look at them. If you go to D.A. Roberts' author page on Amazon, you can actually find all his books there, including the journals, and just pick one and let me know which one you want.
I'll grab the link to that real quick and post it.
Because like I said, there's the Nightmare Hunter Project, Wild Hunt. I think that's it for right now, just the 3. Yeah, Meg, I got him.
Now, folks, if you're interested in checking out any of my books, this is the Amazon link directly to my Amazon author page. Of course, you can always check them out at daroberts.net. They're all available through there as well.
Okay. Yeah, you got a merch too. I don't know if a lot of people, we haven't really brought that up in a while, but
no, we haven't.
If you guys go to daroberts.net, there's actually a link for the merch store, or you can just go to, I think it's merch.daroberts.net, or is it's shop? It's either link. I think it's merch. Yes, it's merch.daroberts.net. He's got tons of Wild Hunt merch, Nightmare Hunter merch. And there's a lot of stuff on there. We're going to be adding more to it soon as well. So go check that out. There's some cool stuff.
Coffee mugs, and we will have to, when we get the new logo done for the DAX Machina stuff, we will need to upgrade that.
Mm-hmm.
There's Nightmare Hunter stuff. There's some backpacks, beer glasses, phone cases.
Run a sale on the merch store too when we get ready to phase out the old one, and they'll be like exclusive. It won't be available anymore.
we need to add some of the ones that we were talking about, posters for the book covers and things like that.
Absolutely. But yeah, guys, be sure to check out that too, because we've put a lot of work into that merch store, and we kind of forget to bring it up sometimes.
Yeah, I always forget about it.
There's a lot of cool stuff on there. So be sure to check that out.
Yeah, if you're a coffee drinker, there's some pretty good coffee mugs on there.
Yep. If you guys have been around for a while, there's an old meme that we made called going out for tacos. And it's a dog man and a gugway, and oh man, they're in the is it 69?
Yeah, the 69 Charger.
Yep, they're in the Charger.
I don't see that shirt, dude.
It with the getting tacos?
Yeah. Did you take it down?
Nope.
I didn't.
Let me take a quick look. It should be up there. Or did we put it on?
No, I see it. I see it. Never mind. It's
yep. It should be right there at the top. But yeah, we got
Wild
Hunt. There's
we need to get some more types of shirts up there too. We need to do some NADP shirts.
Yep.
The Nightmare Hunter Project. Maybe come up with some logo designs for not only Lakeview Man, but Apex Predator.
Yep.
We've got a lot of material we could put up there that we haven't done yet.
There is a custom logo for Steve's Pub and Grub.
Yes,
Now, when you go to the page, you're going to see a very limited number of products. But if you click on any of the designs, it will take you to a full product listing for that design. It's like a feature page on the front. So if you click on the Pub and Grub mug, you'll actually be able to choose any of the products for Pub and Grub. Same with any of the other logos. So don't feel like you're limited to just what's on the main page. And I still owe Meg a Wild Hunt backpack.
Are they doing hats?
Yes, but hats are a little weird right now on how I have to design them. It's one of those things where I really need to sit down into Photoshop. It's not something I can just upload. Like I have to do it kind of like the backpacks. I have to download a special template and do a whole thing. Unless they've changed it, they keep upgrading it.
Yeah, I want to do like NADP field investigator hats. I want to do some Codename Wild Hunt hats.
Absolutely. Definitely want to
AJ,
get some
check your email. I just got your email and sent you that code, so it's already in the email.
Meg just says, "Hey, do you ever get the backpack merch?" We do have some backpacks on there right now. There is 2 Nightmare Hunter backpacks as well as the Getting Tacos backpack. But we definitely, I don't see the Getting Tacos backpack on here, but I know it's available. I have a lot of things to do, and it's hard to remember to get them all done. But I definitely want to get you the Nightmare or the Wild Hunt backpack. The reason that one's taking a little bit longer is because I really there's a lot going on with the Wild Hunt logo that even though it's a simple design, I want the backpack to look really, really good. Because I want to add some extra elements beyond just the logo. Because we can add things like Team Odin, and we can, because there's room for stuff on the straps and the pocket, and around the sides. So there's a lot of cool stuff that we can do with it. So that's another reason I've kind of delayed a little bit on that, because I can make it really cool. Someone asked for the Discord link. I went ahead and threw that in chat as well.
Awesome.
Someone was asking about it in chat. So coming up, fingers crossed, everyone put forth good energy that I get this job. I can devote a lot more time to Darkwater Endeavors projects as well as All Tower Media projects. So let's hope that happens, because that schedule is nuts. I get 1 week off every month that I can just do stuff. That would be super handy to have. Anybody have any questions? I have a feeling we're going to be wrapping up soon, but if anyone just has questions about anything, shoot them. I can do trucker caps. Trucker caps, I think I can do easier than regular ball caps.
Yeah, if you can do some trucker caps, I'll probably pick up a couple of those.
I think my problem is I'm biased. I hate trucker caps, so I always visually don't see them.
You know what I would like to get done, and I know it'd probably be expensive, is Wild Hunt on other logos, like my DA logo, cloisonne pins, like hat pins.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Those would be cool. And I thought about getting Wild Hunt challenge coins done. I've actually been kind of shopping that around.
That would be cool if you could do Wild Hunt and the different teams and stuff. Oh man, those would be really cool collector's items. And if you could order them, in bulk, relatively cheap, you could actually send them to Amazon, do a sell on Amazon, and just send them to your nearest warehouse, and they'll distribute them for you.
Yeah. I've got basically what I've been doing is digging into that, looking to find a price point that's affordable for me and therefore affordable for the people who would buy them.
Yep, absolutely. Something that, again, I would like to do is have monthly meetings or so with you and some of the other people in Darkwater Endeavors for merch and project ideas and kind of where we're at.
I would like to put the call out though. If anybody's interested, I could use a little help with a few things. If there's anybody out there that knows anything about producing newsletters, I could use help with a newsletter. Um, and if you have got ideas that you like to see for merch and things like that, in fact, why don't we create a Discord chat just for that,
Yeah.
for volunteers that might want to help run certain aspects, because everything that I do takes time away from writing. And I'm trying to free up as much of my time as I can to concentrate on the writing, because I didn't get a newsletter out for my Patreon in December like I was supposed to, because just things went crazy, and I haven't gotten it out this month yet either, because it's just been nuts. We're finally getting through the legal phase of the crap that's been going on since the wreck. Getting things ironed out, got another vehicle, so I'm starting to have a little bit more free time. But if I could get someone that knew more about newsletters than I do, that would be willing to help out with that and a few other things, that would certainly free up more of my time just for writing and for shooting videos and doing things for the show.
Well, I created a new text under the Steve Pub and Grub, which is kind of the general area, called Help Wanted. So we will go through and post some positions that may be areas where DA needs help, or if you have an area where you think you might be able to help out with, that would be a great place to do it on the Discord. It's the Help Wanted sub chat.
Awesome. Chris Miller says, speaking of hats, as soon as I have a day where the wind isn't blistering cold, I'll take some pictures of the Scallywag hat and send them to you, DA. That's awesome. I was hoping you liked the hat. I wear mine all the time. Meg says she's going to be ordering a sweatshirt. Paranormal Cryptid, Creepers Cryptid and Paranormal Center Corner says I'll wear the trucker caps when I go into the bush. He also wants some of the hat pins, so we have to look into that. Papa Bear says some boonie caps would be awesome. If I could find a place to make boonie caps, yeah, I would like those myself. Josh Dalton says challenge coins is expensive, at least the one I looked at. I need to talk to some of my friends that worked at the sheriff's department with me, because every year for Christmas, the sheriff would have challenge coins made and give them to us, if I can get that where it's not blasting. And this is the one I'm particularly proud of. I'll show you why. I get that. That is my old sheriff's department badge, and it has my old service number on it. 600 was my old service number.
You know what? If we can get those challenge coins made up, we might include that in the Kickstarter as well as a
that
add-on.
would be cool. That would be cool. Here's
people will be able to add it on to their Kickstarter.
There's a challenge coin I had when I was on the riot team.
Nice.
I got a bunch of those. There's one from the department they gave us one year. Yeah, I want to get something like that made for team Odin, or maybe even do more than one team.
Oh man, they changed it again. The whole UI is different now. There's not little colored cards now when you log in. I will definitely be checking out new things that we can create on the merch store.
Meg says, I have a question. Whatever I see on the page is on the page, and the only sweatshirt that's available when looking at the Nightmare Hunter in black with a white logo. If you click on it, and when it comes up like you're going to order it, you can select other colors. Susan Parsons says a boonie cap would make a great fishing hat. Josh, did you lock up? Josh locked up. We lost Josh. Well, hopefully it was we lost Josh and not me. Folks, can you hear me, or am I the one that locked up? Hopefully it's not me. I don't think it's me. Lenita says Wild Hunt sounds great. Oh, it was Josh. Josh disappeared. So hopefully he'll be right back. Yeah, we are looking at doing a lot more merch on the merch store. Josh, you're still locked up, brother. we are looking at doing a lot more merch on the store. I want to do some other coffee mugs, some of the beer mugs. I want to put more stickers up. There's a poster option where we can do certain size dimensions posters. And I want to do like book covers on that. Like, because I've got so many book covers to choose from, and some of the book covers I'm pretty proud of. I think they'd make awesome posters. I would like to get some of them myself and frame them so I can have them, like hang them in my office and things like that. Some of the book covers that I really want. I think we've lost Josh. Well, can you hear you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you're kind of froze up, but I can hear you. Now you're moving.
So I don't know what happened.
You didn't mention the satellite, did you?
No. Last I saw, Meg had asked about a sweatshirt, and then I lost everything.
Yeah, I told her that if she clicks on it like she's going to order it, she can select different colors.
Okay, good. Yep. And again, same with the logos. Even if you don't see the item you want, there's a lot of items associated to the logo. So just find a logo that you want to order, click on it, find the product you want, and then there's color choices beyond that.
And there will be more. I have a Ragnarok Rising logo that we're going to put on t-shirts. It says the Ragnarok Rising Saga, D.A. Roberts, and it's got wolves inside the circle, almost like yin and yang, but it's two wolves facing opposite directions. Because if you look in Norse mythology, there's the two wolves that follow Odin, Fricka and Geri, and then there's Skull and Hati, which are the two wolves which will destroy the universe. Well, they'll eat the moon and the sun, basically. So yeah, they'll end our universe.
So as far as hats go, I can do bucket hats, snapbacks, trucker hats, dad caps. Don't ask me what a dad cap is. It's called a dad cap. And beanies. I would like to get beanies out there because I want a beanie as well.
Beanies would be cool.
And unfortunately,
especially in the wintertime, because I got to keep my old dome warm.
Unfortunately, they don't have boonie caps yet, but they do have bucket hats. I realize that's not remotely close to the same thing, but kind of, sort of, not really.
Papa Bear says, try lapel pins plus. A nonprofit I work with had some generic ones that broke down to about $6 a coin. That's not bad. I mean, if I could get it down to $6 a coin, we could still sell them cheap enough where it turns a profit.
Also, most of the designs have stickers as well. So if you want a sticker of like the Wild Hunt logo or Steve's Pub and Grub, that's another cool thing that you can pick up.
Which is why we need to get the other ones up. Especially the Ragnarok Rising one, to say at the least. Do you have all of those images, or do I need to send them to you again?
I believe I have all the ones you just discussed. I got to double check though. I can say though, they've now added black ceramic mugs instead of just turning it black with a white handle. They have wine tumblers, AirPod cases, and the little grip ring things that you can put behind your phone, and crop hoodies, which
little grip thing. Oh, okay, I know you.
It's like a key ring on the back.
Yeah.
It's like a pop socket, but a ring
that,
instead.
I'm like, what the hell is that? And I've never used anything like that.
I don't know if I would do the AirPod cases, but the black mugs would be cool to add. I wish they would add camp mugs like these here. I like these bigger camp style mugs that are kind of ceramic. I like those. I hope that they will add those in the near future because all the other merch sites have them, except for Teespring. But Teespring is kind of moving on. Josh,
they're always evolving though. Teespring's always like introducing new stuff. Meg says, Josh, how do I remove an item out of the cart? DA, I can hear you.
Well, give me a moment. I will test how to do that because we buy things a different way.
I think you just click on the cart and it has a delete option.
I believe that's accurate. You got to open up your cart. The top right looks like a little shopping bag.
Creeper Scripted says a thermos cup would be sick too. They have those.
Yeah. Open up your shopping bag in the top right. If you're on computer, I think the layout's similar on your phone. And then there should be a link that says remove, that will remove it out of your cart. And, did you know this, DA? Teespring has Afterpay now, so if people order like a big order, they can split their payments up, and you
that's
still
cool.
get the full payment.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
That's new. Thermos cups, you said. Yeah, the vacuum seal cups. Is that what he's talking about? Like the Yeti style, whatever you want to call it. They do have those, and I believe we have those attached to most of the logos.
Susan Parsons says more coffee, less trips to refill. Yes. Yes, exactly.
We have Stein glasses. I may have to add the vacuum seal cups. Because in the beginning, we were limiting how many products we were adding because Teespring was having some issues with too many products per logo. But they're getting a little bit better, so I can start adding a few more products.
Too many in one category. If you break it up into smaller categories, you can do more.
So right now, don't have any vacuum sealed cups. Give me 24 hours, and all the main logos will have the vacuum seal cups.
Yeah, I want to look into doing the hat pins too. Those cloisonne pins.
Custom.
Because get the Wild Hunt logo, the DA logo, the Apex. Well, we don't have an Apex Predator logo yet, but we're working on that. The Ragnarok Rising logo. We can do logos for all of the series.
This is why I want to have the like monthly dark water meetings.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I found already a handful of sites.
If anybody wants to volunteer to be part of that, just shoot us a message in that newly formed Discord chat.
Keyword: volunteer. We're not at a sustainable financial situation yet.
Yeah, I'm still barely paying the bills. Like, they'd have to be on a volunteer basis for now. If things blow up in the near future, that could change.
If you buy 300 from this site called Signature Pens, they're $1.57 a piece. I mean, that's a couple $100, but then you have 300 of them.
$1.57 a piece at 300 would be what, about $450, $460, somewhere in that ballpark.
But pens would sell for $5.
That might be doable. Maybe.
That's just one site. Like I said, there's multiple sites we can check out.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing that's going to be
hurt. That would hurt, but I could maybe do it.
But see, this is good to look into.
Murder me.
This is good to look into these things because these are the kind of add-ons that I want to add to the Kickstarter as well. We want to do pens for the park, pens related to Darkwater Endeavor stuff. So people can kickstart, and then what's cool is in addition to their their donation for whatever tier, there's a thing called add-ons that they can add on to, and these are the kind of things that I want to add: pins and patches and all that good stuff. Yeah. Patches would be cool too.
Yeah, Kerry's actually talking to his patch guy about patches for
very nice
for Wild Hunt.
Because we definitely want to do a park patch since we redesigned the national park patch to not be an arrowhead. So the government doesn't come out. Mr. Blue doesn't show up at my door in Department of Interior.
I want to get this. I've got this leather vest I wear all the time. I want to get this sewn on it.
I have that. I have that patch somewhere.
I've got two of those. I told Kerry Davis I was going to send him one of them. I've got to actually get that mailed out.
We've got a couple All Tower Media patches too. I think Matt has had one for you for a while if he hasn't already given it to you.
Nope.
Yeah, he's got a couple patches made up for that. Josh, call the help. Want Steve Pub and Grub corkboard. I was kind of debating like corkboard, help wanted. That's a good. I like that better. I was going to put like community board, job board, something like that. Let's see. I will. The help wanted board will now be called the cork board.
There we go.
I like that better.
The board that's on the wall in every ubiquitous pub that your D&D party begins in, where they look for adventures needed.
Yeah.
You find this flyer.
Goblins are raiding a nearby small village. Would you like to help?
No.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Let's see. Meg figured that out. Good. Creeper says, "Oh, awesome! I'll check it out. I'm watching on my phone. When I close it, I'll check. Good. But yeah, definitely could use some more assistance because I and Adam do as much as we can, but we get stretched thin. Like, what does Bilbo say? Feel like butter's spread over too much toast.
Scraped over too much toast, too much bread.
I feel like that a lot.
You know what? Let's do another giveaway.
Yeah, okay.
Let's give away a Codename Wild Hunt audio code.
All right, so we have 49 people currently watching. There are 4 eligible users because I kept it running.
Also, folks, hit that like and subscribe button and hit the little bell.
Yep, absolutely. The bell is important. People don't just say hit the bell for no reason, because when you click on the bell, it's going to ask you what kind of notifications you want. Because when you actually subscribe, YouTube will not send you notifications.
Mm-hmm.
They just won't. But you have to hit all under the bell to make sure you get every single notification from channels that you want all those notifications from. So go ahead. Let's monkey roll on the keyboard again if you would like to be eligible. And we're going to do one more giveaway for the audiobook of Codename Wild Hunt, read by
Cameron Buckner from
Dixie
Cooking Podcast.
Freaking awesome. Hey, good night, Papa Bear.
Good night, Papa Bear.
Yeah, so I listened to it and I burned through it. Yeah, Blues, we're going to do another giveaway because why not?
Yeah, why not? Why the heck not?
Why not? Giveaways are fun. I like,
and I've got these codes, and they might as well use them. So
absolutely. So while we're waiting on people to monkey mash the keyboard, so we've talked about some things coming up. The game's coming up. You've got Lakeview Man 3 almost done.
Mm-hmm. I'm hoping to have that done this weekend. I'm in the final fight scene. I have actually started the final fight scene, and then I have a wrap up chapter because I always have a wrapped up chapter.
Right. You almost have to. Question for people in this chat instead of my nerdy stuff on All Tower Media, because I know some of you kind of watch both. Who out there would be interested in watching? It would probably be after the fact, like a VOD of me running and DA and some other of our friends playing in a Dungeons and Dragons game, because we are playing. We haven't officially kicked off the game yet, but I might be recording the sessions. Would people out there be interested in seeing such a thing? Let me know.
Meg's excited.
Sweet. Personally, I really like that color. I'm very biased. Whenever there's a dark green on there, it goes on.
I ordered a dark green hoodie for the Nightmare Hunter, but it was before you fix the logo, so it's the black logo on the dark green hoodie, so it's really hard to read. Yeah,
be careful with the Teespring colors. If it's a dark logo with a dark color, I've tried to look out for that, but it looks light on the screen.
Page. I ordered a T-shirt the same way, and it's so dark you can't see it.
Yeah, so I had to go switch the colors up. But AJ says sure. So all right, so not a lot of people. There's only 5 people. Yeah, that actually matches the people chatting right now. So one last chance here. There's only 5 eligible people for the audio code giveaway, and there's 49 people watching.
Well, you got a 20% chance of winning.
You can't win if you don't play. So go ahead and like I said, hit up that chat real quick.
Yeah, make some sort of comment. Yeah, it doesn't have to be even a legible one. Just some sort of random comment.
Just summon Cthulhu.
Robert Moore says I'd be very, very much so interested. I play D&D. I got most of the 5th ed stuff.
Awesome. And AJ said sure. Blues Cruise also said sure. So yeah, you know what? Maybe we'll record it and post it up on All Tower Media, and we can have a subgroup in yours if you want it on your channel as well.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Blue Cruise says I haven't played D&D in years. Go for it. Blues and G Music says only 5.
We're up to 7 now.
You have to be in the YouTube chat. If you're
Yes.
commenting from Facebook, it will not. Nightbot will not record it because Nightbot is apparently a snob and it has it in for Facebook.
I think it's the other way around. Facebook is
Facebook's the
uber.
snob and it doesn't like that Nightbot.
Yeah, okay, we're going to talk about Facebook real quick since we're waiting for people to chat. I made a comment the other day, and someone had posted a picture of Christopher Walken, and that was their inspiration for playing a character for the Star Trek role playing game. And I made a comment that said something about it. What's his quote? Something about like, "I don't like your tone. Your tone's all wrong." He's like, your tone directed at my droid is all wrong. I'm going to have to stab you in the face with a sonic screwdriver. And it blocked it because I said stab in the face. But it's like, it's what he says in the movie. I just reworded some of the words to match Star Trek. And I was like, really? I almost got a 24-hour timeout for that.
Vulcan in Star Trek. Wow. Romulans. Who knew? It's crazy.
It's illogical.
Ray shields. Wow. Lock phases. Fire.
All right. So we're going to go ahead. We're up to 10 people now. We're going to go ahead and do the giveaway in 3, 2. I guess the countdown doesn't matter with a 30-second delay.
Way to go, Josh.
General Dalton. I think he's already got it, doesn't he? I think he's already listened to it.
Yeah, I think he's already got it. General, do you already have that?
If so, we can either give it to you so you can gift to someone else, or we can re-roll it. That's up to you. Pretty sure he said he's listened to it already. Let us know. Inquiring minds want to know.
I am pretty sure I already gave him one of those codes.
I figured, especially being one of your alpha readers and, you know, in the...
Well, go ahead and run it again. Roll it again.
Yeah, he bought it. Right. Larry Metzner.
Hey, awesome.
Larry, you are the actual winner.
Cool. So, Larry, if you will email me at... Where's it at? There it is. If you will email me at daroberts@daroberts.net and tell me, your name and you were the winner, so I know who you are, so that we don't have any confusion. Email me at daroberts@daroberts.net, and I will email that code out to you as soon as I get your email.
Blues said he stopped doing Facebook about a year ago. I would love to stop doing Facebook personally, but because we have so much business on Facebook, we can't.
Right, same here.
I think you feel the same way. It just, we have groups and pages, and Facebook Messenger is still a thing, and it's just it's a thing.
Yeah,
the whole thing.
Yeah, I rarely do anything on my personal Facebook page. Everything I do is like 90% of the time on like either the Team DA page or the DA Roberts page or North American Dogman Region 2. Yeah. I hardly ever do anything on my personal page.
Nightbot did not spit out his name, but I've got it over here. Larry Metzner did win that re-roll. That's it. Now you got to make a gnome character named Norm that talks like Christopher Walken.
Wow.
Oh my God, make him an artificer, and like his tool is a cowbell.
Wow. Limbus bread. Who knew? It's in a bag.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. So yeah, Larry, shoot him an email and he'll get that audio code out to you.
Yes, sir.
Maddie, I got 2 pages plus lots of cruising. Yeah. See, it's just, I would love to just use Discord for my socials. Perfectly fine with that because, like I said, I run mine and then I help run DAs, and I'm perfectly fine with just that as being my socials. But you know, we're going to live in a world now where Facebook is going to be running everything.
Robert Moore says he must ride a canoe. What's canoe with you? That's funny.
So yeah, we plan on starting our first game in February, maybe a little sooner if I could talk to everybody, but we already have a date picked out, so probably just stick with that because we don't want to go start changing dates again. Might confuse Matt. Poor guy got screwed up twice. But I'll record those, and what I'll probably do is record 2 or 3 sessions and then start putting them up so I'm ahead of the game. And since we're only playing once a month, we may not see those on YouTube for 3 to 4 months from now, but definitely keep a lookout for that later down the line.
Definitely. And there will be more merchandise on the merch page, so make sure you guys check back and check that. You know, right now there's only the get in, we're getting tacos. There's the Wild Hunt and Nightmare Hunter stuff, but more of that will be up soon. And I do want to see us do like some of the trucker hats, and if we can find a place that does boonie hats, that would be freaking cool.
Yeah, what sucks is I don't want to spread things out too much because then you're sending people all over the place. But if we can see those random ones, what would be nice is be able to order a handful of them and just throw them up on your Amazon page.
Yeah.
That would be the ideal. That way we can kind of keep it somewhat together.
Yeah.
But one thing I can say for sure is the vacuum cups should be up on the logos tonight. I will make a point to work on that tonight.
Nice.
Your comments are way behind, really far behind. You're not seeing what we're seeing, or at least me. Who? Meg, I've noticed that you're kind of behind a little bit. You've been commenting a little bit behind. Make sure on YouTube that the red slider bar is all the way at the end, or refresh the page, because I think that somehow you got lagged behind on a pause. I know that mine, when I hit, because I have voice to text, I rarely type in the box. And when I do that, it auto pauses the video. So every time I do that, I have to fast forward myself.
Okay, give me just a second because I just got the email from Larry and I want to do this before I forget. Because
and now that I've told Meg that, it'll probably be 5 minutes before she hears it. Maybe I should post in chat. I don't think we missed any new members. Nope.
Larry, check your email because I just emailed that out to you. You have not only the instructions on the website address on where you'd go to plug in the code, but the code itself. So the instructions show you how to do it, and I hope you like the book. Definitely leave us a review.
Absolutely.
Well, folks, it's 12:30. Wow, it's after midnight. And that explains the text messages from my wife wanting to know when I'm going to get the hell off the air so we can have something to eat. So that explains that because we're usually off by about 11:30.
Right.
Well, folks, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys joining us, and it's been a lovely chat tonight. We've had a lot of great questions. I enjoyed talking about the Hollow Earth theory, and I think we've come to the conclusion that it's not outside the realm of possibility to believe there are things in those cave systems that we don't understand. And if you look at the missing 411 maps, yeah, you can definitely see where it's possible that cryptids may be using these caves not only to travel, but to come out of to hunt, because the realistic possibility, kind of terrifying. But again, thank you guys for joining us. We're having a great chat. Steve, brother, if you're listening tonight, if you're listening now, I hope you get some rest, and appreciate you being with us tonight. Josh, brother, appreciate you jumping in.
Hey, no problem, man.
Yeah, love you, brother. I appreciate you jumping in. Kerry Davis, brother, if you are listening or you listen to this later, I hope you get to feeling better, man. I know you've been battling this for a hot minute, so I hope you get to feeling better, and we'll hope to have you back with us come Wednesday night. Naoma, thank you for joining us in the chat. I want to thank everybody that was active in chat tonight, and congratulations to the 3 winners tonight. I've already got the Amazon code and the audio code out. If you contact Josh, he'll get that journal out to you guys. Again, thank you guys so much. Appreciate you guys. I've said this many times. We don't have fans. We have friends. We have some great conversations. Once in a while, we'll get somebody that gets a little out of hand in chat, but my mods are really good about keeping that underhand. But it's very rare, and I'm really grateful for that because we have such a great group. You guys are awesome. I've said it many times. I'll say it again. Stories are journeys that we take together. And no one is more important, the writer or the reader, because it's a condition where we really do come together on that. The stories are what unite us all. Stories are journeys we take together, and I'm really blessed and thankful that you've chosen to take those adventures with us. You've joined us for those journeys, and it's humbling and incredible that a farm kid from north of Lebanon, Missouri, has been able to reach so far with the books and the show, and to meet such amazing people. And you guys are absolutely awesome. I can't wait to see you guys on Wednesday night when the fellows from Trinity Paracryptid Research will be joining us, and we'll be talking about cryptid research in Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and the areas that they've researched. And we're going to hear some of their encounter stories, and I think you guys are really going to like it. So hope you guys have a great night. Hope you guys have an excellent weekend. And thank you guys so much for joining us. It has been a pleasure. And we will see you guys on Wednesday. Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you for joining us tonight on DAX Machina. If you ever have an encounter of your own that you wish to discuss, contact us at daroberts@daroberts.net. You can remain completely anonymous if you wish. Pull your covers up tight and keep a nightlight burning bright. Oh, and did you forget to lock your doors?